splits people. I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the Attitude Era, but I have not seen this WrestleMania for a long time. So, yes, it's been a while since I've sat down and actually watched this. So I'm very much looking forward to checking it out, seeing if it is any better than I remember. Obviously, it's got a great main event. It's stacked full of stars. We've got the final of the Brawl for All. You've got Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. Granted, it is one of the worst Hell in a Cell matches, but you've still got Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. You've still got Stone Cold. You've still got X-Pac. You've still got The Rock. You've still got big, big names on this card. This is the WrestleMania at the absolute heart of the Attitude Era. So when people talk about the Attitude Era, this is exactly the kind of thing that they're talking about. So I do need to just set it up and find it on the network. So we've got a few moments for those that haven't done it yet. I am one of those. So I'm going to search for that. Shout out to everyone that's joining us. Shout out to Mr. Rotella as well. I saw Mr. Rotella had very kindly donated a few dollars and said, have a great night. So shout out to Mr. Rotella. Very much appreciated. I hope he's still around. So shout out to him. Harley just said something to do with Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer reporting Logan Paul will be at WrestleMania, but he won't be wrestling. I'm fine with that. I think he will have much star power for Mania. So cool. Reed's new dog says, great way to top of the list. Shout out to you, Reed's new cute dog. Hope you are well. See Wrestling, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Wrestle with Andy. There's the WrestleMania Rage Party from the night before. This is on YouTube. Do you know what? That's so funny because I actually had a quick look, a quick reminder of the facts. I don't know if you guys have ever watched them. The Fascinating Facts by What Culture from a few years ago. I've always enjoyed those videos. I thought they did a really good job with them. And I went back and watched the 15 one earlier just to kind of refresh my mind about any fun little facts. And I'm sure they did speak about the WrestleMania Revenge Party. And I sort of vaguely remember it, but I don't remember seeing it on the network. So that's really funny that you should mention that. That it was literally on my mind before I started streaming. And it suddenly dawned on me that I hadn't seen it on the network. So that's cool that it's out there and it's on YouTube. That's cool as well. I hadn't actually looked to see how long this WrestleMania was. Probably should have done that before as well. And it comes in at like 2 hours. 2 hours what? 2 hours 46. Amazing. That's perfect. That's perfect. Normally when we sit down for like one of these WrestleMania watch-alongs, it like comes up like 20 hours or something and you go, ah. But 2 hours 46. Okay, this WrestleMania is getting off to a good start here. I'm quite happy now. So, yes, see Wrestling, shout out to you. Wrestle with Andy, shout out to you as well. Miss Clown, you've been 50-50 today. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear you're not having a great day, Miss Clown. I hope everything's okay. Bonyak Days, thank you for the advice. The thumbnail looks great. No worries, buddy. Heather says, Days, Lucha Underground is making a resurgence, but in MLW. What? They have brought in Mil Muertes, and they are talking about him coming from Aztec Underground. Ah, okay. Did you see that there's some kind of return for Lucha Underground as well? Someone sent me an article that was talking about how Lucha Underground was on its way back. Perhaps they're talking about it's on its way back within MLW. I'm not sure. I probably should have read the article. I just saw the headline that it was coming back. I didn't think to actually read it. So, wow, okay. Lucha Underground making a resurgence. Oh, I keep trying to make time for MLW. And I really should, because every time I've watched it, I've enjoyed it. And it's on just before AEW on a Wednesday and NXT. But obviously NXT's moving. So, I really should make time for it, because every time I've watched it, I've really enjoyed it. And now if they're going to start bringing in Azteca Underground and all this kind of stuff, sign me up. Sign me up. C. Reston said, I'm pleased WrestleMania isn't today with the clocks changing. My body couldn't have coped. Yeah, that was a bit strange last night, seeing the clocks shoot forwards, especially because I forgot. So, like, when I looked down and all of a sudden it was like 4 a.m, I was like, no way have we been streaming that long. And then it turned out it was clocks had changed. Perv Corner. Shout out to Perv Corner. Erectile Dysfunction. Shout out to you. Brad G says they have to find a new network since El Rey doesn't exist anymore. Does it? Do you know what? My knowledge of Lucha Underground is appallingly bad. I'm embarrassed by how bad my knowledge of Lucha Underground is. So I didn't know that El Rey wasn't running anymore. I know that I don't even know how many seasons of Lucha Underground there's been. I couldn't tell you anything about their champions. I've heard of Mil Muertes. I've heard of, obviously, Prince Puma. Phoenix, I believe, was in there. Pentagon, I think, was in there. Thunder Rosa, Io Shirai. I think, didn't even Wade Barrett, Stu Bennett do a little something?
Hayden Garrett is a legend.
In there.
They donated $1 New Zealand via a super chat.
Hayden Garrett, shout out to you. Hope you are well, my friend. This is the day after the night before, and I'm definitely still feeling the effects. My voice is still a little bit gone from screaming about the Ngannou win last night, but we're all right. We're holding up. LSW says, Days, what is the co-main event? I think it is the Undertaker one. I think was Undertaker the co-main? I'll have a look for you. I did Google it to put the information into the description. And it is Undertaker Big Boss Man. So Undertaker Big Boss Man is the co-main event. Just before that, you've got Shane McMahon taking on X-Pac for the European Championship. We've also got Kane taking on Triple H. Mankind taking on Big Show. I mean, to be honest, this is stacked of stars. I mean, just looking down the list, Owen Hart. You've got Butterbean as well. This is the final of the Brawl for All. Mankind, Big Show, Road Dogg, Goldust, Kane, Triple H, Sable, Shane McMahon, X-Pac, Undertaker, Big Boss Man, Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think that was a real strength of the Attitude Era. It was so stacked with names and stars that it was just rammed, wasn't it? It's a shame, in a way, they didn't do a 2-day WrestleMania during the Attitude Era, because they had so many stars that they could have filled that out quite comfortably. But I think it shows. I don't think the roster was as big as what the roster is today. But star power-wise, they probably had more than what we've got today. Isn't that crazy? We've got a bigger roster, but less star power than what they had in the Attitude Era. I mean, yes, you've got Edge that's come back. Yes, you've got Roman. Yes, we've built up Drew. But, I mean, look at this. Stone Cold, Rock, Undertaker. I mean, even from the women point of view, like Sable. I suppose you got Becky, but don't know when she's coming back. Kane, Triple H, Mankind, Big Show. It's stacked. Absolutely stacked. Where are we? So in about 3 minutes' time, we're going to get the ball rolling, my friends. In about 3 minutes' time. So 2 hours 46 this runs for. It's rated 15. So you all had better be 15 or over. Because apparently this is 15. It's got L, S, and V. And I don't know what that means. I would imagine bad language, sex, and violence. That would be my guess. All at a 15 level. So this is going to be some stuff for the dads. That's what we've got here. Some stuff for the dads. A bit of bad language, bit of sex, not actual sex. sexiness. I mean, I just said some words there. I think I'm still tired from last night. And violence. So we've got all of that coming in. Definitely need to be careful with my words. 2 hours 47. And we will start in a few minutes' time. Harley says, I'm 14. No! You gotta leave, Harley. You gotta leave, right? Harley. Timeout. Timeout for Harley. Timeout for Hart. You're not old enough. So you can think about that now whilst you're on timeout. Hang on, did it time you out? Yes. Good. Good. I'm only 11. Leo. Timeout. Timeout for you, Leo. I'm sorry, but we've got to clean this up. I have got rules that have to be followed, and if they're not followed, then that's it. You are all getting timed out. So there we go. Gone. Still buzzing over last night. Absolutely huge UFC fan. Watch all their shows. Fight nights, pay-per-views, and the Contender Series. Can't wait for Till on April 10th, as I'm from Liverpool. Yeah, that... They've done that the same night as WrestleMania, which really sucks. So... I'm 21. Good. I'm 69. Good. Corey says I'm 13. Right, you're gone. Timeout. Put user in timeout. Lauren said I'm 15, so that's old enough. That's fine. That's fine. Days, I'm only 14. Let's see if you time me out. Well, yeah, let's see if I time you out. There you go. Timeout. I'm 12. Oh my God, guys, am I just going to have to time everyone out? Put user in timeout, right? You're timed out. Lou, you said you're 14. You're timed out. I'm taking this very serious, guys. Very, very serious. Yeah. Because there's rules that have days on 5, right? You're gone, Austin. Not messing around. Days, does 14 count? It does. It's 1 before 15. So guess what? You're on timeout. There we go. Timeout for you. I'm 99. I'm only 1, right? Retribution. You're gone. Although I am very impressed that you're able to jump on and interact the way that you are at the age of 1. So shout out to you. Days, I'm 15. That's good. I'm 16. Good. 15. I like how everyone's telling... Aiden, I'm 14. Everyone's telling me their ages now. Gavi says I'm 9. Right, well, do you know what you are? You're on timeout. That's what you are, Gavi. You're on timeout. Days, you need to do WrestleMania 14. Oh, TX based. You've just used the word 14. So you're on timeout. I've timed you out now. I've gone rogue. You just made the list. Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's a 2021 Jericho's list. Emmanuel, I'm 13. No, you're not. You're timed out. I'm only 2 months old. Wow, that is insane craze. And you're also timed out. 15 today. Oh, happy birthday and well done. To celebrate, I'm going to time you out. I've gone drunk with power. Joaquin Uribe. Days time me out for the fun of it. No, I can't do that.
$1.99 via a super chart. Days timed me out for the fun of it.
Okay. You're timed out as well. Yeah. Did she even stop? She stopped talking? I stopped her talking. I just basically put the woman on timeout. Oh my God, it's all kicking off. I'm 7. 7? Hang on, where's that one? Someone says I'm 7. Oh, right, well, do you know what you are? You're timed out. Boom. Oh, I'm -2. I think people think that this is funny or something. I know you can't be -2, but just for even typing it, you're timed out. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer says, I'm ageless. Days, I'm newborn. Is that okay? It's okay if you want to be in timeout. As far as I know, there's no limit to this. Like, I can do this for the next hour. You know what I mean? I could just keep going. This is, C says this is timeout abuse. Do you want me to show you timeout abuse, C? Do you want me to show you timeout abuse? That's timeout abuse. That's timeout abuse right there. That's timeout abuse. I'm 94. I'm glad to hear that. I'm 129. That's good. These are all acceptable numbers. Hayden says I'm 20. That's fine. Mayfield says I'm 14 years old and I love it. Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love? I love putting you in timeout. Ethan is 14. You're on timeout. Oh my God. Never felt so alive. Are we going to start the show? Yeah, we'll start the show. Hang on. Oh, no, you're old enough. You're old enough. Right, all them people that I've timed out, you're not allowed to come back at all ever. Okay. Although, you know, if you do, it's fine. But you're not meant to be here. Just know that. Days, whilst I was timed out, I turned 15. Have I been timing out people?
Wrestling World is a legend. They donated £1.99 via a super chat. I'm unborn. I am in my mum's belly 28 years ago.
Okay, I'm going to time you out for just being weird. That's a weird comment. Talking about your mom's belly on the internet is strange. So you're timed out now, Luke's Wrestling World. You're timed out now, and you can think about what you've done. Firestarters 12. I'm not ignoring people. Don't think you can still fire them in and I'm not going to notice. Bulk Flazers 12. No, you're not. You're timed out. I'm 12. You're gone as well. I'm 7. You're 7 times timed out. Days, I'm 12. I got rid of that one. Good. 14. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Oh, go and play with Roblox. Yeah. Timed out. Days, bad news. The time it's taken you to time everyone out. Wrestling is now really offensive and it's now rated 21. Ah! Oh, God. We have got to get going, guys. We have got to get going. Hopefully none of you slip through the cracks. Yeah. Time me out. That's not how you get a timeout. I don't just time out people that ask for it. It's all age-based. But you've annoyed me now, so you're timed out. King Kalas. Right. We are done. I've been drunk with power. And now I've seen the error of my ways. So I'd like to apologize to everyone that I've offended or timed out there. Although, in fairness, you deserved it. So, right, let's get going with WrestleMania 15. Okay? In 3, 2, 1, boom. We are underway. We are up and running with WrestleMania 15. And I am being greeted by a white circle going around and around. Okay, here we go. Oh, hello. Are we starting with the song? What's this? Hang on. Oh, this is backfire. I tell you what, I'm about to time out the flipping network. That's what I'm about to do. Okay, yes. We have got... I don't know. Right. I have missed who this is now. There's people singing. Are these... What are these? Who are these? Are these Boys to Men? What's going on? Does anyone know who these people are? Right, I don't know who these people are. I Survived, says Shay. Yes. We should have I Survived Timeout Armageddon shirts available at the Wrestling Days store. It is Boys to Men. It is Boys to Men. Yay! How about that? I was like, this is Boys to Men. I didn't see a graphic or hear anything. I had to skip the very start because for the first few moments, I just had a white circle that was going around like this. So there we go. It's the Jackson 5, but there's only 4 of them. How can it be the Jackson 5 when there's 4? Oh, amazing. Scenes. Right, where are we? We are in the first Union Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, known as the Brotherly Love. Is it the state of Brotherly Love? Hang on, I'll find this out for you. U.S. Philadelphia, the nicknames. Let brotherly love enjoy. The city of brotherly love. The city of brotherly love. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, and it lives within Pennsylvania. That's how it works. So if you want to learn about wrestling, if you want to learn about geography, this is your guy right here. Yeah. I could be a geography teacher. Boys to men, baby, says Heather. I liked my timeout, so can you do it again? I'm 13. Sure. Do you know what? I just wish I could do it for longer. Corey says, I am 12. Well, Corey, are you going to keep just reminding me of this fact throughout the whole stream? Days, what do you think about Logan being at WrestleMania? And what do you think he will do? Don't worry, I'm not 14. I am 14.75. Still not 15, though, is it? What do I think about Logan? Well, look, I can't really complain. He apparently is not a douche like he used to be. So as a result, that's a positive. Also, the fact that he's going to not be wrestling is another positive. And he's definitely popular.
John Honey is a legend.
And he definitely could bring some eyes.
$2 via a super chart. Thoughts on Are You the House Always Wins Dark Show?
Thoughts on AEW The House Always Wins Dark Show? I've never heard of this. What's this? Is this news that's broken today? AEW House Always Wins. That sounds, do you know what? That sounds like the best dance album that's never been made. House Always Wins. A selection of the greatest house tracks. How has no one ever made that compilation album? House Always Wins. AEW names its first non-televised live show, The House Always Wins. As previously reported, the company's first house show will take place on April 9th in Jacksonville, Florida, at Daly's Place. The non-televised event has been called The House Always Wins. Kenny Omega, Michael Nakazawa versus Matt and Mike Sydal, Cody Rhodes, Ethan Page, Young Bucks, and Brandon Cutler versus Death Triangle, Darby Allin versus TBD, Britt Baker, and I mean, I must admit, going to see them, I think would be fun. They've definitely got some stars. You kind of sit here and go.
A legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chart. Days, I'm 10 and I want Triple H versus AJ.
You want Triple H versus AJ? Oh my God! Tell you what, Joaquin Uribe. Can I just outright block you? I mean, honestly, you keep telling me that you're underage, and now you're mentioning Triple H and AJ. You're very close to being outright blocked. Right, talking of someone that probably should have been blocked by society, here comes Al Snow. Al Snow with head making his way down. Currently in the Job Squad. He's got his Job Squad t-shirt on. So we are underway. We've had Boys to Men doing a song. I think it was America the Beautiful. And now we're moving on to match number 1, which is going to be Al Snow taking on, let's have a look, Hardcore Holly and Billy Gunn. Oh, this is the first ever Hardcore Championship match. That's cool, isn't it? Right. Hardcore Holly. Who did I mention the other one was? The other one was Billy Gunn.
Indie View Wrestling Podcast is a legend. They donated £2 via a super chart. Day's important question. EastEnders or offer?
Offer? What's offer? What's offer? EastEnders or Offer. I'm thinking, hang on, Emmerdale. Because EastEnders is a soap. So, Offer. It's not EastEnders. It's not Coronation Street. It's not Brookside. What are the soaps are there? What's Offer? Please respond. I can't think. It's the day after a pretty long stream, and it might be super obvious, but I can't think of Offer. Indie View Wrestling Podcast, shout out to you. John, by the way, John Honey, thank you for that information about the house always wins. What do I think about it? I think that it's cool. I think it's fun. I think I would definitely go. It sounds like it's a pretty stacked card, and yeah, they probably do need to do some house shows, generate a bit of income, whatever. Plus, the fact they're not leaving Daly's place means they haven't got to pay any money to travel or anything. So it's just a good income stream for them. And you'd imagine they'll sell a bit of merch. And yeah, I think it's positive.
Indie View Wrestling Podcast is a legend.
Only Fools
they
and
donated
Horses.
£2 via a super chart. Offer. Only Fools and Horses. Smiley face.
That's a weird comparison. Okay, so EastEnders, which is a soap, against Only Fools and Horses, which is like a comedy show from back in the day. Oh, Only Fools, of course. Only Fools, definitely. I've never been into soaps. I've never really got into EastEnders or Coronation Street. It was always on because my folks used to watch it. So they were always on in the house, and so you'd catch the odd storyline or catch the odd episode or whatever. So I mean, I've definitely watched them, but I don't watch them. And but Only Fools and Horses, that's a classic. Yeah, if it was on, I wouldn't really stick around to watch it. I think I've seen all the episodes now. But yeah, that's maybe the best comedy show ever. I don't know. It's got to be up there for me. Only Fools and Horses is, yeah, brilliant. And it doesn't age either. You can catch old episodes and it's still just as funny. So, but very English. I don't even know if people in America will have heard of it. Either of them, actually. So, right, there's quite a bit to talk about with this WrestleMania. We are underway. This is the first hardcore championship match. It's inside an arena, so it's not a stadium. We've got a nice entranceway. It feels kind of cool, kind of big. I didn't see the screen. I didn't see the Titantron. I didn't see like a massive screen at the entranceway. It's just got a massive WrestleMania 15 logo. And it's got WWF Attitude written on the side of the ring as well. Where, as we said, heart. This is the heart of the Attitude Era. We're looking at 15, 16, 17, 18 were coming out of it. Because, of course, you know, really 17 were starting to come out of it. 17 is seen as like this massive, I would say, Attitude Era pay-per-view. It's kind of the end because WWE had bought WCW just like the week before. So that's the end, isn't it? That's the end of the war. The war is over. Yes, we do go on to have the invasion. So it's kind of like, you know, we're into the final episode, if you will, of the Attitude Era. But the Attitude Era was really about, you know, going to war with WCW, and you know, we're in the middle of the war right here. Al Snow with a hockey stick, and he's going under the ring, and that's something you don't see anymore. Drinks and ice underneath the ring. I can't say I've seen anyone pull a tray of drinks out. I should imagine everything's under the ring, so I should imagine there is a tray of drinks under the ring in wrestling, WWE in 2021, but don't tend to see it. Days, this is the second time that I've been put on detention, and I will not stand for this, as I am 15 minus 23 plus 22, and I am starting a campaign for Triple H and AJ at WrestleMania. 124. No, that's right. It's right for you to speak out. And you can think about that whilst you go back into timeout. Albion says, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I hope you are well. Crazy Cheech says, I could never forget my age. The first WrestleMania was the same year as my birthday. So you was born in 85. That was the first WrestleMania. Am I right in saying that? Never understood why they are kendo sticks under the ring, says List of Jericho. Yeah, it is a bit weird, isn't it? You can understand chairs at ringside, but yeah, just having like kendo sticks under the ring, do they need those to build the ring? Perhaps the ring's just built out of kendo sticks, who knows? I do like that WrestleMania logo above the entranceway. Just getting a glimpse of it there. It looks great. Looks really cool. But there is no massive Titantron sign, big screen. I've got a feeling that dropped this year because this is 99. For those of you that don't know, this is 19. I keep saying it's the heart of the Attitude Era. I'm not actually telling you the year. So we're at 1999. This is the year that Jericho makes his debut in WWE. Ali said, I just wanted to say, your UFC live stream is really great. So happy to have found your chat. Ali, thank you for the kind words, my friend. And welcome. Shout out to you. I hope you enjoyed last night. I was reading people's reaction to it, and there's been some pretty fun memes out there. And I even saw, I don't know if you saw, but Dave Meltzer actually tweeted out about how that guy looked like Ric Flair when he face planted. And I was like, that's exactly what we were saying. That's exactly what we were saying. We were saying that he looked just like Ric Flair doing that. So it looks like we weren't the only ones that thought that. Yeah, I thought it was a really fun show. The card didn't look amazing last night, apart from like the main card. Like the prelims didn't look that good. But they were all right. They were all right, but things definitely improved when we got to that main card. I think Miranda Maverick looks awesome. And obviously Ngannou as well. So, yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Wrestle with Andy says, do the network censor the Boss Man match? I've not seen, and we actually spoke about this. And we were talking, I've been thinking a lot about a conversation we had the other day because it was so interesting. We were talking about the censorship on Peacock. And obviously it's a very difficult conversation because it's a very sensitive subject. And we're talking about some very sensitive issues. And maybe I'm not the right person to be talking about sensitive issues. But we had a really good conversation about it. We didn't really get anywhere. I saw some people in the chat saying, yes, they should censor everything they want to censor. And I saw other people in the chat saying they shouldn't. I'm really torn on it. I'm still torn on it. I don't like the idea of someone choosing what we get to see and what we don't get to see. I don't like someone telling me what is offensive and what isn't offensive. And certainly things, I don't know, it's difficult because like the Boss Man could be removed absolutely on Peacock. I think it's on the network. I'm expecting to see it tonight. But I bet Peacock remove it. I'll bet Peacock remove it. So yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult one. Because I can understand that some of it makes people uncomfortable. I can definitely understand it. But I think if you start pulling stuff out, where do you draw the line? I mean, honestly, there's a lot in older wrestling. It was just the times of what was acceptable. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult. But I've been thinking a lot about it. It's one of those conversations that you go, you know, should they? I mean, should they? Shouldn't they? I still haven't got an answer. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Days SNW Victory Lane was awesome. It is worth the $79.99. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. There is that WrestleMania 15 sign, that logo that's hanging above the entranceway. The thing I don't understand, right, is you've got the black curtain, you've got the entranceway. the 15, the bottom part is a V. It comes down like this. It's right in the middle. So if you open the curtain, they must have been warned. Or is the curtain a bit further back? I never thought about this at the time. Do you open the curtain and you've got like this structure in your face? How does that work? Right. Indie Wrestling Podcast. Shout out to you, my friend. Right. Hardcore Holly was just victorious in that triple threat match. It was all right. We saw kendo sticks and it's your usual blur. It was all right. I should look at what Meltzer scores them. We always like to have a look at Meltzer, don't we? Right, we're moving on to match number 2, and this is going to be Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett taking on D'Lo Brown and Test. And I think it was on that WrestleMania.
Podcast is a legend. They donated £1 via a super chat.
Shout out to you guys. Yeah, I think it was on that WrestleMania Rage show that these guys won the opportunity to face for the tag titles, D'Lo Brown and Test. So, D'Lo Brown and Test versus Owen and Jeff Jarrett. I mean, 99, this is the year that Owen would pass away. So, this is Owen's last WrestleMania. He passes away in 1999. So we lose Owen Hart in this year. Can I get a shout out? Sure. Shout out to you, Michael. Do you remember the Backlash with the swinging stage? Yes. They were cool. Are they the ribs? That were like... If it's those ones that I'm thinking of, they were cool. Could have got cockpit with that. It's Peacock. Oh. Days, I've thought about it, and you are right. Triple H versus AJ shouldn't be at WrestleMania 124. It should be at WrestleMania 125 as the main event. 124 should be Jake Paul versus Curtis Axel in an exploding glue match. Harley, I think you've lost your mind. I'm actually not going to time you out, because timing you out is giving you too much time to have a think. And I don't think it's working for you. Hayden said, this is Owen Hart's final WrestleMania before the tragedy of his passing. Yes. In fact, there's quite a bit of tragedy around, because we will see later on Gorilla Monsoon. And Gorilla Monsoon would sadly pass away about 6 months after this as well. So Gorilla Monsoon is one of the judges for the Brawl for All. And he says hello to the fans. And you can see that he's not well. You can see that he's not the same. Obviously, he didn't kind of deteriorate like what we saw from Bobby the Brain. But, yeah, Gorilla Monsoon, he'll be here. And he will pass away in a few months after this. As we said, we lose Owen Hart as well. It's kind of hard. But when does Test pass away? I think it's quite a bit after this. But when does Test pass away? Because obviously Test has left us as well. Test, WWF. He passes away in 2009. So it's 10 years after this that Test passes away. But, man, I mean, wow. So Test passes away 10 years after this. And when he dies, he's 33. That means he's only 23 here. Test is 23 years old at this WrestleMania. That's impressive. That's impressive. Right, so this is for the Tag Team Championships. So, Tag Team Championships on the line. It's only a quick little thing, this match. Owen putting on the sharpshooter. D'Lo, though, coming off the ropes, giving him a big strike, and Owen going down. But as I said, this match doesn't take too long. And coming up next, we've got the final of the Brawl for All. The Brawl for All. I'm sure we've all heard about that and seen episodes on that. Right, I can tell you that first match that I was like, not really into, that gets a massive 1.25 stars. 1.25 stars. This one, that only runs for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. This gets a massive 1.25 stars as well. The next match is not rated because it only goes quite quick also. This is looking at what Meltzer scores this WrestleMania. This is not a great WrestleMania. Can I tell you that coming up on this show, we have got a match that gets -2 stars. We're going to see a -2 star match. That's quite exciting. I'm quite excited to rewatch this. I'll even tell you what it is. Sable versus Tori. Sable versus Tori for the WWF Women's Championship. -2 stars. The boyhood dream has come true. I went on a toy hunt. Oh, I hope you had fun. Hope you found some good stuff. C. Wrestling said, I really believe had Test not passed away, he would have been the modern version of Kevin Nash in WCW in the last decade. It's weird, isn't it? Because when I think of Test, I do think of his relationship with Steph and that souring and him being on the out. And I only ever think of really bad stuff, but to think that he's only 23 years old here and, you know, thinking of what he achieved, and to think he passed away at the age of 33. I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. He could have had another 10 years after passing away. Like, could still be around now. Easily. I mean, I think, doesn't that make him about the same age as AJ? If he passed away in 2009, when AJ came in, he was, what, 42? Was he when he came into WWE? I've got a feeling he's probably around the same age as AJ Styles. That's great. That's crazy. That's crazy. They owe Meltzer a match then, says Crazy Cheech. I can't wait to see a -2 star match. I've watched so much New Japan that I'm used now to fast, long matches. Bonyak, shout out to you. No worries, bud. Jimmy said, I had just been married for 8 months at this time. My marriage could also be rated at -2 stars. I'm sorry to hear that, Jimmy. I'm sorry to hear that. She's not sat next to you, is she? Because she definitely would have heard that. Like, shout out to you, Jimmy. Tess would be 45 now. Okay, well, if he would be 45 now, how old is AJ now? AJ Styles. He must be about that age. He must be. He's 43 now. So Test's a couple of years older than AJ. Couple of years. Right, we are at the final of the Brawl for All. So I'm going to tell you stuff that you know. But the Brawl for All was a tournament that was actual fighting, actual boxing. And it didn't make much sense because everything was meant to be real. But then they were like, no, this is really real. There's real, and then there's really real, and this is really real. And it was really real. And they did a tournament, and people were really, really getting knocked out in that tournament. And it had people like JBL in there and all of these kind of people. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, I think Godfather was in there as well. And we got down to, amazingly, the winner of the tournament was Bart Gunn. Bart Gunn won the tournament. And his prize was to have a match at WrestleMania, a real boxing match against Butterbean. Butterbean was he was quite a famous boxer. He was a proper professional boxer. I mean, there's no way that he was ever winning this. No way. That would be like getting all of the wrestlers now to do a real MMA tournament, and their prize is they get to face Khabib. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Not that Butterbean was Khabib levels, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, weird. Weird. So Butterbean. I wonder if people know how big of a deal he was. I never saw him fight, but even I in England had heard of him. I'd heard of Butterbean. Here he is, look, Gorilla Monsoon. And he looks so thin, doesn't he? Yeah, massive ovation for Gorilla Monsoon. I wish that ovation had been louder, honestly. I wish they'd have chanted his name, knowing what we know now that this would be, 6 months later he would pass away. I wish they were losing their minds and going crazy. So, Brawl for all, it's Bart Gunn versus Butterbean. And here comes Butterbean. Can I just say, Butterbean sounds lovely. I would definitely eat some Butterbeans. But this guy is a proper professional boxer. He was so popular because there's not many athletes that look like him. Do you know what I mean? This is a guy in his peak physical condition. Do you know what I mean? He's in there with like ripped Adonises, and then you got Butterbean just making his way down. He's won 18 Tough Man contests. And here is Bart Gunn. It's such a cool name, Gorilla Monsoon. It is such a cool name, isn't it? It is such a cool name. Bart the Hammer Gunn making his way down. This only lasts a minute. Yeah, this doesn't stick around for long at all. Days, do you like Sasha Banks? I don't know. Does she like me? That'll help make my decision. Depends how she feels about me. Because we all know Paige thinks I'm a cutie. We all know this. We all know this to be true. No one can deny it. Not my words. The words of Paige herself. Ah, he's a cutie. This guy right here. Right. He's a little bit taller, Bart Gunn. God, he must be so nervous. I know Butterbean was nervous. Butterbean was backstage saying, am I going to get in big trouble when I knock this guy out? He knew he was going to knock him out. He knew he was going to win. I mean, I don't want to spoil this for you, but Butterbean was like, oh, look at this. Big strikes. Yeah, and already driving. Nice body shot there by Butterbean. Just standing and throwing. Oh, overhand and more. And look, he doesn't know where he is. So he managed to get back. Oh, my God. Look at that final shot. Oh, I mean, it is worth it just for that knockout. That knockout is sick, isn't it? That knockout is sick. Butterbean wins in 30-odd seconds. That knockout is very impressive. He's out, and then he gets boom! It's a great knockout. It's a great knockout. Look at Gorilla Monsoon. Straight over. Look, here's the replay. Oh, my God. Boom! Love it. Out. Yeah. Deaded. He deaded him. Is this the second? Oh my god! Oh my god! His head goes full rotation. We need to check that it's still attached. We need to double check.
Even John Meisler's a
Such
legend.
a bad idea.
They donated £2 via a super chart. What was the main event for this show?
Shout out to you, buddy. The main event for this show is the very first Stone Cold Rock. So it's kind of built on that, in all fairness. Like the undercard. I actually think that's really cool. That knockout is so impressive. I wonder how Vince felt. It's like, oh well, I wonder how he felt. Is he going to be pleased because, you know, it's a it's a WrestleMania moment. That knockout is amazing. It's amazing. Or is he just going to be happy that it's done? What are we sending out here? This is the most WWE thing I've ever seen. God damn! Send out the chicken! Send out the chicken! A chicken has come into the ring. Do you think it was a bit too real and a bit too violent? So Vince is like, God damn, send the chicken. Send out the chicken. And now a chicken has come running down to the ring. So the first meeting between The Rock and Stone Cold. Eric Defcon says, I've never seen WrestleMania's 18.
Eric Defcon Prime Day Richie is 32. A legend. They donated $2 via a super chart. I've never seen WM 1832. Those were my hiatus years.
I think you missed some of the best ones, honestly. I think if you think about Undertaker and what he was doing at that time, I would say the streak in particular is the big thing that runs through the 20s for me. And then, of course, well, Cena's run, but the streak, I think, is better. But I do think there's some really good ones. 30 is right up there with the best WrestleManias ever, in my opinion. I love 30. I think 30 is a brilliant WrestleMania. Really entertaining. You got the Shield on that show. You've got, obviously, the end of the streak. You've got Daniel Bryan and Yeselmania. So I love 30. So I think that's a great one. And then, obviously, Undertaker Shawn twice, Undertaker Triple H twice. I think they're really good. Some really good stuff. 19 was good WrestleMania. A lot of people say that's the best WrestleMania. When you're talking about the best WrestleMania, it tends to be 17 or 19. So, I think you missed some good ones. No chance! Right, we're moving on. We're already 30-odd minutes into this show, which is pretty cool. So we've now got Mankind against Big Show. And the winner of this will be the special guest referee for the main event. Can I tell you, there's quite a few matches here. We've got 12 matches. 2 of them, though, were on the heat. So that only leaves us 10 matches. We've had 3. This is match number 4. So we've still got 6 matches after this. But they're all quite quick. There's only 2 matches that go over 10 minutes. And there's only 1 match that goes over 15. And that's the main event. So all the matches are quite quick. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the fact that it's quite snappy. So, maybe it didn't need to be as snappy as what we just saw in that last one. That was like 30-odd seconds long. 30-odd seconds. Oh, God damn. Send out the chicken. Right. Big Show versus Mankind. Winner to be the guest ref. Days, the women's division at this time is awful. Yes, it is. It is. And considering that we get a women's match and it got -2 stars, I think that says it all. They're walking around the bottom of that sign. Yeah, they are, aren't they? They're having to come around the side. Weird that they've put this point right in the middle of the curtain. So as they come out, they're having to walk around it. I'd love to see someone come out and go smash their head off it. Right. Mankind has already got a little ref shirt on that he's made himself. A little homemade referee shirt. Big boot by Big Show. Jake Paul versus Curtis Axel would be an all-out classic. Do you not like it because of the stipulation? There's many reasons why I don't like it. I think anything involving Jake Paul is going to be questionable. But I am looking forward to him against Ben Askren. I'm very much looking forward to that, actually. Ben Askren released a really fun video, which I did retweet. And it's him training, and it's like a Rocky montage. It's really good. It's really good. Although I wish he was concentrating more on learning how to box so that he doesn't get embarrassed. But, yeah, he was saying like that Dana has been in touch and offered to give him proper trainers. And Dana's like, what do you need? What do you need? Let me know what you need. Dana will send him anyone he wants to get him trained so that he can beat Jake Paul. Because this is being turned into boxing versus MMA. And Ben Askren's like, I don't see it that way. I really don't see that I'm representing MMA. But he's like, this is what everyone's trying to make it out as. Miss Khan once said, I hate how people can just turn up and demand a title shot. For example, Rhea. Yeah, she should have won at least a match. It is crazy that she was second in the Royal Rumble, and that's good enough to get a title match against Asuka, but I don't think this was the plan, was it? I think they were going with something complete. I think the plan probably was Charlotte versus Lacey. I don't even think Asuka was meant to be involved. I think it was going to be Charlotte versus Lacey. Then Lacey got pregnant, so it was Asuka Charlotte. Then Charlotte apparently got COVID, and I am kind of believing that she did, because I think it would be a terrible thing to lie about. So I'm kind of believing that she did. So as a result of that, now it's turned into Asuka versus Rhea. But it is crazy that they didn't have her qualify or do anything, you know. Mankind pulling out the Mr. Socko with Big Show on the outside. Big Show, by the way, just in trunks. He hasn't got the singlet on at this point. Headbutt by Big Show. I do think the Big Show name as well held him back. I think they could have come up with something so much better. I think his music always sucked. I think his name sucked. I think Big Show is basically the Attitude Era's version of Shorty G. Do you know what I mean? It's just Big Show. This could have done something so much better. Is that a kick low blow or a kick to the midsection? I think this is a no disqualification. Which page say you're a cutie, WWE or from Charmed? WWE. I don't watch Charmed. I wouldn't even know what that page looked like. Days, what size do you think the Big Show's pants are? Medium. I'd rather see Rhea than anyone else, though, says Brad G. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think she's a good option. But I also agree that, you know, they could easily have had her win a match. Even if it was one match, one qualifying match, one battle royal, or a fatal fight. So they just try to kill time with pointless matches, and they couldn't put one match on to try and find a number one contender. It just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I think it's because it all had to change last minute. I think maybe the show was set, everything was in place, everything was agreed, and then Charlotte came through as positive for COVID, and so everything had to change. That's all I can think. At least he didn't have a female friend called the Big Ho. Well, yes. I'm surprised they didn't do that, actually. What do you think Edge versus Bryan versus Reigns? It's all right. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think they're three great superstars, and still I can't tell if it's going to be Edge that's going to pin Bryan or if it's going to be Roman that's going to pin or submit Bryan. So I still don't quite know which way they're going to go. I think that's why Daniel got added, to keep both Edge and Roman looking strong. I think that's the only reason he's there. But I still don't know which way they're going to go. I think it's likely that it'll be Edge. But, yeah, I would have preferred a one-on-one match. We were saying all throughout that I would have preferred a singles match rather than a triple threat. But it's not the worst thing in the world. So, it's all right. It's all right. They just kind of, for me, they just dampened down a match a little bit. There was a match I was really looking forward to. And I'm still looking forward to it. But it's like, just dampened it a touch. He sounds like Fiend when he's doing the claw. Minus the laugh, says Rob. What would a WWE Brawl for All be like if it was the women of now? Well, yeah, what would it be like, actually? I feel like Asuka would stand a great chance because I feel like her striking is really good. So, and I'm sure she's like trained in striking and MMA. So I feel like she's got proper training. Oh, chokeslam through some chairs. Oh, it was a DQ. I thought this was a no DQ match. They'd been doing such stuff. Well, there we go. Big Show slams Mankind through some chairs, and he gets disqualified. And so it's going to be Mankind that is going to be the special guest referee. So Mankind is going to be the special guest referee. There's Mr. McMahon coming out. So here is Vince. Because they're trying to stop Austin, aren't they? That's the story. They're trying to stop Austin. So by having Big Show as the special guest referee. Have you realized what you've just done? I was counting on you to be the referee. Look at the size of him compared to Vince. Look at the size of Big Show. I'm Vince McMahon. Oh, and he's going by that how much we're... Over the years, how many times do you reckon Big Show has watched this clip? How many... All the years of just heel turn, face turn, heel turn, face turn. How many times has he wanted to grab Vince by the throat? Just imagine whenever he just goes to this and just watches that moment again and again and again. So he's waving the finger in front of Big Show. Big Show's just having to take it. Vince slaps Big Show. Boom! Joaquin Uribe says there's $20 that Big Show turns face. Well, yeah, there we go. I mean, that's when a Big Show turn actually meant something. Like, the crowd actually popped for, Vince getting laid out by Big Show. And the Stooges are getting spoken to.
Joaquin Uribe is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chart. Days $20 Big Show turns face.
There we go. It's not even a mark on Vince's face there, considering he just got punched in the face hard by the Big Show. Not even a blemish. Not even a blemish. The one from Charmed is very lovely. To be fair, Rhea didn't demand a title shot. She challenged and the champion accepted. She can also brag about how she had the most eliminations in the Rumble, probably saving her debut match for Mania, says Harley. He hit the boss, says STD. It would be cool if it was the man versus Asuka. That would be good, William. That would be good. Shayna, of course. Shayna or Ronda for the Brawl for All. Shayna, you're right. Yeah, no. Who's going to stop Shayna? Who's going to stop Shayna Baszler? Shayna Baszler's been in the octagon with Amanda Nunes. So, yeah, Shayna wins. Quite comfortably, I would imagine. I don't even know what... Ronda's striking is all right, but Ronda was known more for her takedowns, wasn't she? She was known more for her hip tosses and her groundwork and her arm bars. But her striking was still okay. But she got pieced up, man. Seeing her against Holly Holm, what a fight that was. She got pieced up. But, yeah, Shayna Baszler, I think, would win it. Vince is a god. What do you think about Bad Bunny versus The Miz? I think it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I understand it. I understand why they want Bad Bunny there, and he's a big star, and he's a good get, and I do like the fact we've got some celebrities involved. I think that that's always something that helps WrestleMania. WrestleMania should feel big and relevant, and it's good. It's just, I don't know. I mean, like, the Super Bowl gets The Weeknd. We get Bad Bunny and Logan Paul. Like, I feel like there's cooler. Do you know what I mean? Although, apparently Bad Bunny is supposed to be cool in Latin America. Apparently people think he's cool. Right, we are moving on. Call somebody. Right, 4-corner elimination match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. So we've got Road Dogg, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and Venis. So this is for the Intercontinental Championship. Road Dogg versus Goldust versus Ken Shamrock. Apparently they had big plans for Ken Shamrock, but he just couldn't commit to wrestling. He still wanted to go back to the MMA. And Venis. Cut the music. Road Dogg 420 sign in the crowd. Gerard, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. Rain63 says, Bad Bunny is bigger than The Weeknd. Well, apparently so from a streaming perspective. I find that hard to believe because, in the UK, we've never heard of Bad Bunny, or if he's starting to come through. But even so, like, he's not a thing. I mean, I've heard of The Weeknd for years now, and his music's great. And I've only just found out about Bad Bunny, and his music's not great. Or at least the tracks that I've heard. He might have some great tracks, but I've heard 2, and both of them have been a bit... So, yeah, I don't know. He's a big deal in Latin America in particular. And that seems to be something that's driving his streams and his all the listens is Latin America. So it's good for that market. So, I mean, like, I suppose in a way, have him there, but don't put him in the ring. Don't put him in the ring. I definitely 1000% have no interest in watching him trying to wrestle. I don't care. And I don't care if he's been training for the past 3 months. Or however long he's been in since Royal Rumble. Like, learning how to wrestle takes years. It's honestly, who would train for 3 months and then start boxing, like, against professional boxers? Like, it takes a long, long time to learn these skills. In a way, I do find it a bit disrespectful that people think that they can just walk in and do it. Do you know what I mean? I find that quite disrespectful. I respect what the wrestlers do because I know how hard they have to train and how hard they have to work to do it. And, you know, it's a process. Think about how long people stay in NXT or work at the Performance Center and, you know, all this. And then, like, these celebrities come in and they just think they can just do it. Yeah, this is easy. They say they love wrestling and then they come in thinking that they can just do it. Wild. I mean, I don't understand. Absolutely come in and be in the corner or be the guest timekeeper or be the outside official or whatever. But don't come in thinking that you're going to have a match and steal the show. I have no idea why we're pandering to that. No idea at all. So, yeah, I would say that's a match that is one of the only low points on that WrestleMania card. Have him a part of it. Have him doing the national anthem or America the Beautiful at the start. Do you know what I mean? I mean, flip, we had Aretha Franklin at was it WrestleMania 3? We didn't put her in a women's match. Do you know what I mean? Like, know your role. Let's all take a lesson from The Rock, shall we? Know your role. Your role is to sing a song. You're a singer, so sing a song. Yeah? Sing two. I don't care. Do all the entrance themes if you want. I'm not bothered. But don't go in the ring. Because you know they're going to give him a moment where he's going to look good against The Miz. We've already seen him throw in, was it Drew Gulak over the top rope? Wild. Austin said, that's exactly why I don't like celebrities in wrestling. Days as next year's WrestleMania celebrity. I'll tell you now, if ever, and it would never happen, but if ever I got asked to, you know, pop along to a show or whatever, I ain't doing anything in the ring. You got my word on that. You absolutely got my word on that. I'll be one of them people in the crowd. A thumbs up. I'll do a thumbs up. Waving. Ghost bananas! Days, I have no problem with Bad Bunny, says Sean. That's good. I wish it was Logan that was the one that was wrestling and not Bad Bunny. At least Logan has got 5 years of wrestling experience, says Harley. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would want that to be in the build. I'd want that to be part of the story. You know, it could be what you really think that I've not got any experience or something, and then like you might want to check this out, and then boom, video package showing, you know, him as a kid competing, wrestling, working hard, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that would be interesting. It'd still be hard to be excited for it because I want to watch trained wrestlers wrestling. I'm not really interested in watching people come in and giving it a go. Do you know what I mean? Kind of feels like watching kids in a school play. You kind of have to just politely clap. Oh, you just did a moonsault. Well done. Very good. Very good. Yeah, no, we only see it every flipping week anyway. But yeah, no, I'll applaud the fact that you've just done it. Well done. Well done. Oh, yes, no, you've managed not to fall over. That's excellent. That's exactly why I tune into wrestling. So, yeah, not a fan. Ghost Bananas, yay! Brent Wilkinson says, for some reason, NXT has got more of a wow factor this year than WrestleMania. There's a sentence that I thought I would never say. Heather says, Days, check King Kyler's comment. Road Dogg had a heart attack. Yes, he did. We spoke about it yesterday. And I haven't seen any updates on it. So I think he's still in hospital, and as far as I know, he's stable. But yeah, I haven't seen any. Has anyone seen any news today? I haven't seen anything. Devin, shout out to you. John Cena Gamer says, I hope Road Dogg gets better. Absolutely. Road Dogg has, yes, King Kylers. Thank you for letting us know. Hey, Days, how are you? I'm good, thank you, Edward. Hope you're well, buddy. Right, Goldust in the ring with Val Venis. This is the Intercontinental Championship. We've got Blue Meanie at ringside. Ryan Shamrock as well. Ken Shamrock on the outside, not in his red shorts. What's he wearing, actually? I haven't seen what he's wearing, what Ken Shamrock's got on. I'm not used to him seeing not in his red shorts, his little sexy red pants. This one is a four corners elimination match. WWF Intercontinental Championship runs for 9 minutes 46. Kick out by Goldust. Coming up after this, we've got Kane against Triple H. We've got the -2-star match of Sable against Tori. We've got Shane McMahon against X-Pac. We've got Undertaker Bossman. And then our main event, Stone Cold versus The Rock. Let me give you an update on the scores. So we had a first match was 1.25 stars. Second match was 1.25 stars. The Butterbean Bart gun, that is probably my favorite moment easily of the night so far. With that knockout, was not rated. It was too short. It was only 30 seconds long. Mankind against Paul White was 0.75 stars. And now we've got this match right here. Goldust getting back up to his feet. There's so many referee legends. Yeah, we got Tim White in the ring as well. What's the deal with Keith Lee? Is he coming back soon? Keith Lee's quite interesting because he keeps missing the big shows. And it was believed that he was self-isolating at a time. So there was an update on Keith Lee just a couple of days ago. And unfortunately, there's, not really much word on specifics at the moment. Just got just reading here. Fightful said Lee is out of action due to health reasons. Rather than simply being a case that creative has nothing for you, WWE has not been able to clear the former NXT champion for in-ring competition. But no news on what it is. But on the 25th of March, he did put a tweet out, and it said, "Never ever give in. For all that you wish for, fight." So that's it. I mean, honestly, I haven't seen any update. It's just that he's not medically cleared. It's not that they're just having him sitting around. He's just not medically cleared. Road Dogg in the ring, and he gives a crotch chop to Goldust and fires in some quick strikes. Ken Shamrock comes in with Blue Pants Shamrock. What's your thoughts on WrestleMania week? What show are you most looking forward to? Hello, Brent Wilkinson. What show am I most looking forward to? Wow, it's hard not to say WrestleMania. I don't know the days. I don't know what matches are on what. So I can't say day 1 or day 2. I haven't paid that any attention. I'm watching both days, so I don't care. To be honest. I'm watching both days, so I'm going to see all the matches. I don't really care what order they happen in. Although I would have liked Banks and Belair as the main event. I have seen a lot of people saying the build has sucked. So that's why they're not bothered, and I get that. But it should be the main event, and the build should have been better. So I agree with both points. I think it should be the main event, and the build should have been better. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to all the big matches, to be honest. I think Banks Belair is going to be great. I think Lashley versus Drew is going to be great. I think all the title matches. I'm looking forward to all the big title matches. So, yeah, hard not to say that. But I think TakeOver looks good as well, to be honest. And we keep saying, I'm sure AEW are not just going to lie down and sit it out. Do you know what I mean? I should imagine AEW are going to go big. I wonder if they've got that as the week planned that Okada arrives. Or something like this. I wonder if they've got anything big planned as it being the next New Japan moment. Because you'd think that week in particular, they're not going to want to get forgotten about. You know, more eyes are going to be on wrestling that week than probably any other week in the year. So that being said, you want to stand out, and it would make sense that they do that. Maybe we get Okada. Don't know. All I know is that if you're going to step up, that's the week to step up. So, and obviously, as we said, you know, it would take me forever to tell you what we're streaming. We're streaming on the Monday for Raw, the Tuesday for the Hall of Fame and NWA, the Wednesday for AEW and TakeOver Night 1, the Thursday for NXT UK and TakeOver Night 2, SmackDown on Friday, WrestleMania on Saturday, WrestleMania on Sunday, Raw on Monday, NXT on Tuesday. It's just, it doesn't stop. Because there's UFC in there as well, and it just doesn't stop. And I've got to fit in Wrestling Escape Pod. Be good, though. Looking forward to it. Streams like the 9-hour plus stream yesterday is my training. That's me in training for WrestleMania week. Road Dogg gets his shoulder up. I'm doing a rubbish job of telling you about this WrestleMania, but honestly, if I did sit and just talk about this WrestleMania, it might be me crying because so far it's not been a brilliant one. This is why I always struggle with the Attitude Era and people talk about how great it was. I always think back to these sort of shows, and it's like, these sort of shows are just not that great. Road Dogg gets the pin, but it does have big star power. And what it also had was can't miss that. You can't miss this episode of Raw. You can't miss this WrestleMania. It felt big and relevant and important. But the actual shows were not that great when you go back and watch them. Some of the Raws were, in all fairness. Some of the Raws were. But actually, if you have a look at like the best pay-per-views of all time, a lot of them tend to be from like the 2003, 2000, kind of the 2000s, more so than the late 90s. I mean, even WrestleMania 17 is 01, isn't it? 2001. That's right at the end of the Attitude Era, so. Right, well, we're done anyway, and I can tell you that Dave Meltzer scored that 1.5 stars. That officially, with 1.5 stars, and us being 5 matches in, that is, according to Meltzer, the highest rated match we've seen so far, and it got 1.5 stars. He wasn't a fan. And in fairness, I can see why. We got Big Show backstage, and the police taking Big Show away. Big Show being put inside a police car by about 20 police officers by the looks of it. Yeah, Jerry Lawler says that they brought the whole police force. Big Show can't even sit comfortably in the car. Look, his head's like this. Triple H and Kane. Is that next? Is that next? Yes, Triple H and Kane next. Right, Triple H and Kane. Days, it was mainly for the feuds and the antics of Stone Cold and Vince people tuned in for. Even the Ministry wasn't that popular back then, says David P85. Shout out to you, David. I mean, look, I do understand, and part of me does. I would love to have that feeling again of the Attitude Era. That can't miss. Wrestling felt like it was at the center of pop culture. It really felt like, I don't know if the world feels the same anymore, but it kind of felt like wrestling was at the center of like everything that was cool at that moment. It made itself at the center of it. Do you know what I mean? You had like, we've mentioned it before with like South Park and with Jerry Springer and all this kind of like shock TV that was very popular at that time. Like wrestling managed to maneuver itself to be a part of that. And it's kind of like, I don't know where the world is now. The world, what seems to be popular right now is getting offended, being offended and cancelling things. Like that's, honestly, that's where the world, I just think the world has become very uncool. It's just uncool. Like back in the 90s, there was things that were cool. What's cool now? I don't even know what's cool now. Trolling on Twitter is cool now. Cancelling things is cool now. I don't know. Hopefully when we come out of lockdown, some things will become cool again. And like maybe wrestling can maneuver itself to get in there, to being in amongst it. I suppose in a way it's trying. I suppose it's looking at like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny, and it's trying to maneuver itself there, isn't it? That's why we've got them involved in the show. Pete Rose is inside that bunny costume, so here we go. WrestleMania 14, Pete Rose and Kane. That's great, isn't it? Pete Rose in the chicken costume. He was so much fun with Kane. He came down trying to attack Kane, and Kane managed to tombstone him. It's just a fun little moment. How weird, though, that, isn't it? Don't you think it's a bit strange that in 97, Kane, the brother of The Undertaker, arrives, and literally, like, less than 2 years later, is having a little comedy back and forth with Pete Rose. Wild. William Alexander said The Fiend was made for the Attitude Era. Brent Wilkinson says, dude, you may as well not end the stream. Just stream for 2 weeks straight.
Will Alexander is a legend.
Hell of a lot of coffee.
£1.99 via a super chart.
Flask.
The Fiend was made for the Attitude Era.
Shout out to you, Will Alexander. Pete Rose being led away by the referees. Joaquin, shout out to you. There's no point. I forgot that she was reading them out. I'm so used to reading them again. Bonyak says, I'm only 13. Oh, wow. We're so far into it now, Bonyak, honestly. You've seen so much violence by this stage. You've already been corrupted. So, do you know what I mean?
Joaquin Uribe is a legend.
Just let it go
He
now.
donated
$1.99
via a super chart. Days after WrestleMania, will there be fans on Raw?
Not straight away. They've not been selling tickets. So, not straight away. I'm certainly not expecting fans at like the Raw after WrestleMania, and I think that show's going to really suffer as a result. So yeah, I've seen no tickets being sold for that. Right, Triple H in the ring, and he's throwing in some big strikes to Kane. He actually didn't get an entrance. He actually came from like underneath the ring, and of course here Triple H is part of DX. So at WrestleMania 14, we saw Shawn lose the title to Stone Cold, and then he went away. Shawn went away, and as a result, Triple H took over D-Generation X, or he formed this group, and DX was basically his baby for like the year. And here we are with him and Kane. That's where we are in this little story. Kids use the F and C words, so wrestling violence ain't going to make any difference. Heather says, lol, Kane and Pete Rose. I remember that. Jimmy said the Super Chat woman should be a guest commentator at WrestleMania. Days, imagine if Bunny, just out of nowhere, tries to do a suicide dive to The Miz, but gets tangled on the ropes. Austin said the Fiend would have been better in the Attitude Era. They were more about character rather than in ring. Banyak, James, that's not the only words. Well, we are underway with Triple H and Kane. And as we said, how long have we... Oh, okay. We're kind of roughly about the halfway stage in this show. Thankfully, this is not a 3.5, 4 hour WrestleMania. That would be a hard watch, man. That would be a hard watch. At least one of the positives for this WrestleMania is it's quite quick and quite snappy. So you're kind of going, as we said, there's only one match on the show tonight that goes over 15 minutes, and that's the main event. And I think it runs for 16. So, like, at least nothing's really staying around and outstaying its welcome. So even though, like, the match quality might be very poor, it's not staying around for long. And we are getting some nice moments. That Pete Rose moment is fun. Triple H and all that hair. I still think Steph made him shave his head. Kane's match. I love Kane, says Austin. Kane with Triple H, and he dumps him on top of that barricade. Big strike by Kane, and Triple H goes into the front row. Someone just threw a beer on him. Is that the Mean Street Posse? I think that's the Mean Street Posse, isn't it? Yeah, they're friends of Shane, so I think that's the Mean Street Posse. I think that's why Kane did it, because they are obviously in on it. You can't go throwing Triple H into the front row if there's going to be kids there. But this is old school Kane with the full mask. And he's driving Triple H into that ring post. Isn't it funny how marketing is so important? Like, the name and the presentation of someone makes such a difference. Such a difference. This is Isaac Yankem versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That's what we've got here. Isaac Yankem. This is fake Diesel versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And it's one of the biggest matches on this WrestleMania. Fake Diesel versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. But you repackage them as Kane and Triple H. And you give them like a good build, and you make them cool. And all of a sudden now, look at this. It's good. I was just going to say something about the hair, says Laurie. Edward, I'm good, thank you. I hope you are well. What was another good pay-per-view in 1999 besides WrestleMania? Well, my thoughts go to the SummerSlam. But someone tells me the SummerSlam was good. I'm trying to think, what was the SummerSlam? It was that Stone Cold, and no, it wasn't Stone Cold Undertaker. Let's have a look. This one is Mankind, Stone Cold, Triple H, Rock, Billy Gunn. No, this isn't the one I was thinking of. Wasn't thinking of that SummerSlam. I definitely need to watch that SummerSlam. I can't quite remember it. It wasn't the one I was thinking of anyway. Unforgiven was very good. Unforgiven. That was a 6-pack challenge. Triple H, Rock, British Bulldog, Big Show, Kane, and Mankind. So, Unforgiven. But to be honest, there's a little list I'm looking at here that's got like all the pay-per-views. And they do put the SummerSlam at number 5 for the year. They say it was like the 5th best. Who is this? The Sportster. So the Sportster ranked them. And they do put SummerSlam up there. Along with WrestleMania, believe it or not. They've got WrestleMania. They've got this at number 2. I mean, that shows you 1999, doesn't it? This WrestleMania we're watching right now is number 2 in the ranking of that year's pay-per-views. SummerSlam at number 5. And they've got Unforgiven at number 1. I mean, 1999 is just not... It's just not a good year. It's not a year that I enjoy. It's not a year that I ever go back to. But it is one of the most successful years in WWE history. Wild. Fully Loaded was good, says David. Oh, I just clicked off that report. Where did they put Fully Loaded? Oh, no, it's gone. I don't know where they put it. That would have been quite interesting. Coming up after this, Triple H versus Kane match is a -2-star match. Worth mentioning, I've not done a very good job of talking about the winners, but Road Dogg won that last 4 corners elimination. Went for 9 minutes 46. It was the longest match so far. This one goes even longer. This is the second longest match on the show. It goes for 11:32. Triple H versus Kane. We've seen some all right action on the outside, actually. I like that moment where Triple H got thrown into the crowd, then driven into the ring post, and now Triple H throwing in some big shots on Kane inside the ring, and Kane going down to one knee. This is old school Kane as well, which is the best Kane. Goes for a big strike, looks for a back elbow. Triple H ducking underneath. Nice knee to the mask of Kane. Against the ropes again. And another knee, and Kane goes down. Chyna making her way down to the ring. Chyna on her way down to spoil the party. Days, when will we do WrestleMania 12 with the Iron Man match? Well, there's a good chance it'll be in a poll, to be honest. There's a good chance that we will get there. But I'm not sure when we'll get there, to be honest. I do want to try and do like a lot of the WrestleManias. And we haven't done 12. So, yeah, that's in there. We haven't done 6. With like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. I mean, honestly, those I really believe those WrestleManias are just so much better than the Attitude Era ones. If I had to watch Attitude Era or what do they call it, Golden Era, like 88 to 92, 88 to 92, 87 to 92, or even 85 to 92 it's the good stuff, man. It's the good stuff. Hulkamania. Macho Madness, Andre the Giant still around. You're looking at British Bulldog, some great tag team wrestling with the Legion of Doom, and Ric Flair, of course, being around. He came in just the end, didn't he, at 92. But I love all that stuff. So WrestleMania 6 would be fun. Face first, Kane going into the ring steps that have just been brought in by Chyna. Teddy Long is the referee. Teddy Long is the referee. Yeah, well spotted. You're right. Going for a clothesline. Over the top goes Kane, and he lands on his feet. Laurie says Chyna is exactly why I wanted to watch. Have you done 22 or 23? I want to say no to both. I don't think we have. I think we're only about like a quarter of the way through. I think we've done about a quarter of them. We've probably done about 10 of them so far. But no, not 22 or 23. We've done 17. We've done 10. We've done 1, 2, and 3. We've done 30. We've done 32. We've did, what else have we done? Done 28. I remember watching End of an Era. We've done 25. So we did 24 not that long ago. We're all over the place, actually. We did 19. But we've still not done 18. We've still not done, like, Hogan Rock. So, yeah, there's loads. There's loads that we've still to do. But that's why it's good just to get 15 done. China with a chair shot on Kane. So, China was standing over Triple H. Kane was standing over Triple H. China with a chair shot. And he's been betrayed by China. Boom! Headshot as well. Chair in the ring and Triple H looking for a pedigree. Look at the smirk on the face. Some crotch chops. I mean, again, when you talk about how this was at the center of pop culture, like the crotch chops. I mean, kids were doing that in school and getting into trouble. Triple H and China, obviously they were in a relationship as well. You can do so much better than DX China, says Jerry Lawler. I was listening to JR, and JR was saying on his podcast, apparently China was a bit of a nightmare because she always wanted to work with the guys. She didn't want to work with the women. She wasn't interested in like going for the women's championship. She wanted to work with the guys. But obviously the guys didn't really want to work with her because certainly at that time, I mean, even now it's like, I think a guy would be a bit unsure about putting a woman over. So, I mean, like, you can do it from a jokey point of view. You can have Sasha beating Simpinald, but I can't imagine, like, do you know what I mean? I can't imagine Orton having a real match with Alexa and putting her over. So, yeah, back then, guys didn't want to do it. So, there was always a bit of heat and a bit of friction. I like JR's podcast. Grilling JR, it's good. It's a good listen. It's very interesting. You should have stayed with Kane, China, says Austin. Here's Vince. Teddy Long should have announced it as a tag match. He should have made China versus Undertaker, shouldn't he? Vince says that he is going to be the guest referee. No more controversy. Big Punisher is in the house. Big Pun. There we go. Look, they've got Big Punisher there, and he's in the crowd. Right, we're moving on to our minus. It's time. It's time, guys. It's time. Yeah. It's time for minus 2 stars. Here we go. This is where we go to a different level. Minus 2. Minus 2. Minus 2. Here is Lady Lesnar making her way down. Lady Lesnar. Sable. Taking on Tori in a classic minus 2 star match. Yes. Woo! Ready for this. Big Pun, yeah. Big Pun was a big guy as well. If he was around now, they would definitely make him wrestle. This is for all the women that want to be me. And all the men that come to see me. Are you boys ready for the grind? Is she selling coffee? I'll have some. I'm a big coffee fan. She could open her own coffee shop. And that could be a catch line. Are you guys ready for the grind? So $2, please. Here comes Tori. How have Mattel never made that figure? Look at Tori. WrestleMania 15 Tori would be a great figure. She's got like a cat suit on. Oh, man, look at this. This is one of the all-time great WrestleMania attires. Mattel should definitely make a WrestleMania 15 Tori. Reminds me of my negative 2-star marriage, says Jimmy. Dave's that big pun, Fat Joe's cousin in real life. Is he? Right, here we go. We are underway with that. Minus. Kick to the midsection. 2-star match. Another kick to the midsection by Sable. At least one good thing's come out of it. Well, 2 actually. 3. I'm going to say 3. 1. Tori's outfit. 2, that intro that we can have a bit of fun with. And 3, this legit is the most interested I've been in this pay-per-view so far. Not because of the women, but because it's minus 2 stars. And I want to see it. So we got Tori. Do you know, I never found Sable all that attractive. Never found Sable all that attractive. Watching her out there saying like, the girls that want to be me and the guys that want to be with me, it just doesn't do it for me. Into the barricade goes Tori. Knee to the midsection by Sable. I think it's a moody face. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just think like every time you look at her, she's always got a moody face. She always looks moody. Do you know what I mean? Oh my God, look at that. I don't even know what that was. It's like a crossbody to the outside. Now Tori's got a moody face. Because Sable just came crashing into it. I would like to point out, I don't mean that her face is in any way wrong. It's her expression is always wrong. Her expression is like... That would be my impression of Sable. I hope Brock's not watching this. I take it all back if he is. I'm so sorry. My name's C Wrestling. And you can find me at C Wrestling on Twitter. Please send any death threats there. Thank you. I'd take Sable over the Bella Twins, says Rozzy101. Into the corner goes Sable. She hurls Tori into the corner. Sable charges over. Tori trying to roll her over a little bit. Botchy Sable. This is okay. It's not, I don't even know if this is the worst thing I've seen tonight. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't even know what's happening there. They do manage to bridge up and then fall over. So, looking for a backslide. Backslide by Sable. Or by Tori on Sable. It's a bit slow, this. Oh, she goes for a kick. Duck underneath by Tori twice. Tori runs against the ropes. Ducks underneath. Against the ropes again. She sort of cross bodies. Why couldn't they not do cross bodies? What is it about a cross body that there just seems to be eluding them? Why can't they manage to do a crossbody? Sable going for a Sable bomb. Up go. Oh my God, even that's botched. Oh, this is bad. The amount of bot. This is like how many botches can we fit? That looks like she's got a tail. That looks like she's legit got a tail. Look at that. Tori has got Sable in between her legs. And because of this catsuit thing she's got on and Sable's ponytail, it looks like Tori's got a tail. Nicole Bass who I honestly thought was China. I thought that was China. Cole Bass helping Tori. Well, she must be. Now she's going for the Sable bomb. Well, she actually managed to do that. She actually managed to execute that move. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. That was a botchy mess. It was a horrible botchy mess. Good Sable dancing. Nicole Bass. That match is something else, isn't it? Just. That match is better than Taker versus HBK at WrestleMania 25 and all New Japan matches. Yeah, I agree. I heard that Naito actually watches this every Naito so that he can get some tips on how to be a wrestler. And apparently he won't allow anyone to call him a professional wrestler until he feels he has a match of that caliber. Until he has a match that's as good as Sable versus Tori, he won't allow anyone to call him a professional wrestler. Same with Okada. Every Naito, they watch it together. Right, this amazingly, this is X-Pac's first ever WrestleMania appearance. He had never, not even X-Pac, Sean Waltman, he had never appeared at WrestleMania before. He'd always been injured or had just missed out or... and think, actually, wasn't it the start of this year he came back from being 6? I don't think he'd been back that long in WWE. Oh, although saying that, it might have been just after WrestleMania 14, thinking about it, when DX kind of came about. Right, Shane McMahon. Either way, this is X-Pac's first WrestleMania appearance. Dave Meltzer -2. You don't know what you're doing. I know. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That guy knows nothing. Should have been +22. That's the best match I've ever seen. Shane McMahon versus X-Pac. 6 was NWO. He was. Shane McMahon versus X-Pac's what we've got now. Okay, that's... Right, let's have a look at what's Meltzy saying. So, Meltzy gave Triple H Kane 125. I feel like that's a bit low. Honestly. A little low. I didn't think the match was all that bad. Sable versus Tori -2. Now we're getting serious, guys. Right now, there's only 3 matches left. This is where things get serious. We go to the dizzy heights of 2.75 now. I mean, think about what you've just watched, and now think about what you're about to watch. That is a swing of 4.75 stars. We see a 4.75 improvement. So this match is going to feel awesome compared to what we've just seen. Right, the Stooges, we've got Pat Patterson, Briscoe. They're trying to take out X-Pac as he's making his way down. They're trying to help out Shane. And X-Pac manages to deal with those Stooges. And we are up and running with Shane versus X-Pac for the European Championship. The Mean Street Posse, Rodney, Pete Gas, and Joey Abs. WWF WrestleMania 2000, Nintendo 64, says Harold. It's a blast from the past. Days, don't tell Brock Lesnar that. What? About Sable? that she's got a moody face. He's got a moody face as well. Moody faces seem to find each other. They always say, like, you know, you should have loads in common with your partner. They definitely have. They're both moody. Never made for each other. Do you think they're just... I bet what a depressing house that must be. Honestly, could you imagine going around to Brock Lesnar and Sable's house for dinner one evening? Do you think they'd be full of laughter and joy? Because I don't. I think they just sit around just hating life. In my mind, that's all they do. I can't imagine that is a laugh a minute. It's a house full of love and joy, and just... That house strikes me as hell on earth. I've never really thought about it before, but a Brock Lesnar Sable household. Just awful. Awful. Just, I would imagine it's full of shouting, drama, and violence. Brock definitely has got a moody face, says Rob. Will their kids have moody faces? We'll leave the kids out of it. His daughter's doing really well. So, fair play to his daughter. I think he has got a son as well. But in fairness, I think his daughter has been brought up in a different house. I think his daughter was with a different woman. So, I think she's safe, in all fairness. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that household. Patrick said it wouldn't be full of laughter. I can't see it. We're going to tell Brock what you said. Sorry, Days. You're going to go one-on-one with Brock. He wouldn't cope. I'm pretty sure he can't run as fast as I can. Michael, shout out to you. Jordan said, I bet they just have a dartboard with a picture of Vince on it. Definitely. Knee strikes coming in by Shane McMahon. Slap by Shane. That's why Brock moved to Saskatchewan, Canada. No one wants to be there. Yeah, maybe. It's a moody man with his moody wife in a moody part of the world. And yes, I do mean Canada, not just Saskatchewan. I mean all of Canada. I'm joking. I like Canada. I like Toronto. I don't know about the rest of it. It's probably moody. Look at Bret Hart. Bret Hart's got a moody face. Bret Hart's moody all the time as well. What's going on, Canada? What's going on? Hey, what's up? I feel like Canada just needs to talk about it. I feel like Canada needs to go to the pub with friends and just have a talk. That's what Canada needs. When I start thinking about, like, Canadians, they're all moody. Brock's up there. Sable's up there. Bret Hart's moody. What other Canadians do I know? Celine Dion. She's moody. What other Canadians are there? Jericho. Flip. Oh, my God. Is King moody? It's proper moody on Twitter. Going out, spreading COVID. Being moody. Being old and moody. So I'm glad we've established that. Stu Hart, he was moody. Cheap shots by X-Pac on the Mean Street Posse. Although if anyone's watching from Canada, I'm sure you're lovely. Jericho's Canadian. Moody. Kevin Owens is Canadian. He's pretty moody. Definitely moody. Sonny Wolf. Moody. X-Pac has taken out the posse. This is a young Shane. It is a young Shane. Apparently, he was training with Dr. Tom Pritchard, getting ready for this. So it really had some pretty intensive training. I should imagine he'd been training throughout his life. I can't imagine you would grow up with your dad running the World Wrestling Federation and you wouldn't show some kind of interest in it. Owens and Sammy are moody. Definitely. All this is doing is proving my point. Canadians are known for being very polite, but I think we've exposed something here tonight. I really do. That's lovely work by X-Pac. And more crotch chops. X-Pac going for the cover. Test pulling X-Pac out of the ring. The Rock has got Canadian citizenship. He's not Canadian, though, is he? He doesn't count. Edge and Christian. Have you seen Edge? Have you seen Edge recently? Flip. Moody. I'm Native American, says Tori. Shout out to you. Wow, we won't go there with Benoit. We won't go there. I only recently found out Brock is 43 and a grandfather, says Lauren. Imagine Prime Undertaker versus Damian Priest. Be good, Ghost Player. Be fun. Right, Bronco Buster by X-Pac. And is Bronco busting Shane, but Test with that European Championship smashes X-Pac in the face. Shane is wearing Roman's pants. Maybe Roman is wearing Shane's pants. Think about that. Dino Bravo. Oh, Dino Bravo, legend. Lance Storm, he's moody. He is moody. He's also... One thing I am learning is Canadians are all great wrestlers. Moody, great wrestlers. If you're a moody, great... If ever I meet a great wrestler and I meet them and they're like, moody, I'll be like, are you Canadian? Are you Canadian? You are, aren't you? I bet good many they would be. Moody, great wrestlers. We need a moody emoji, says Patrick O'Neill. Just use the Canadian flag. I'm sure they've got flags, haven't they? I do feel bad if there are any Canadian people watching. I am only joking. I genuinely love Canada. I've been there a few times, been to Toronto, and I genuinely think it's a great place. Although I am currently looking for your flag to see if I can just make more fun of it. But no, they haven't got flags, unfortunately. Well, certainly not that I can find. Jim Cornette is so Canadian. Yeah, he's King Moody, isn't he? Is he Canadian? He's not, is he? Is he? No. I would think about it. Pedigree by Triple H. So Triple H and China have come down. They pedigree X-Pac. They put Shane on top of X-Pac.
Is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Jim Cornette is so Canadian, lol.
Oh, Corey K has found the flag. Shout out to you. So they just screwed X-Pac. This is like the death of DX for a while. Triple H laying out X-Pac. Have Triple H and China done the unthinkable? Have they joined the corporation? These are the kind of dramas that were playing out in the Attitude Era. Billy Gunn, man. Billy Gunn came down. Such intensity. He nearly did the Titus World Slide. Did you see Billy Gunn then? He came down, he slid into the ring, and he just went... Shoo. Thankfully, he stopped right by the edge of the ring. He went straight the way across. He really came down with intensity. And the Outlaws have come down. Michael Cole can't believe it. He just keeps saying he can't believe it. Lights have gone out. Kane. I'm Canadian, so am I moody? Asks Lauren. I don't know, are you? Please respond. Do you feel moody? Do you need to talk about it? Hulk Hogan's a real Canadian. I am a real Canadian. I don't even know how we got on this subject. No idea. Kane has made his way down. Emma Brown, shout out to you. David said, Days, I think the European title was a waste of time. What were your thoughts on it? Yeah, a complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. The European title should be to find who's the best in Europe, and then they can go on to become the best in the world. It doesn't mean anything in the WWE because you haven't really got like a European division. So why would you have a European title? It doesn't mean anything. You've got Americans fighting over the European Championship. It doesn't make any sense. It's a little bit like NXT UK because you've got an NXT UK Championship, but at least you've got an NXT UK show. I understand you've got European talent, but they use NXT UK as like a hotbed for European talent. So really, it should be called NXT Europe. Should be called NXT Europe, and that should be the NXT European Championship. Really, if we're being honest. I mean, Volta's holding it right now, and he's been feuding with the likes of A-Kid from Spain and Ilya Dragunov. Do you know what I mean? So it's like NXT UK. I think it's called that because it's based in London. It's based in the UK, but it should be NXT Europe. And then you could bring back, like, you could call it the NXT European Championship, which I think would be great. I think that'd be really cool. So, yeah, in this era, it sucked. Right, we've got... this is where Undertaker was having his sights on the McMahons. You don't want to go there. Right, we are getting towards the end here. We've only got 2 matches left. The bear. Undertaker burning the bear. The bear. Undertaker burnt Vince McMahon's bear. Attitude Era, guys. Attitude Era. Right, Undertaker versus the Boss Man. The Chicken and Vince are so moody. Watching this WrestleMania reminds me of my -2-star marriage, and now I'm moody. I'm going to move to Canada. Well, I'm sorry that it brings those memories back, my friend. Richard, shout out to you. Yeah, these streams are chilled. They're always chilled. I mean, after such a hectic Saturday, it's always nice just to jump on and watch like an old wrestling show. And we do watch it and talk about it, but honestly, if it's not going to hold my attention, I'm more happy to jump in and just have a chat with you guys for a little bit. So it's kind of like a watch along, kind of like a chill out thing, and it's cool, man. I like it. I always like to do something on a Sunday where we can. So yeah, I appreciate everyone joining us. David asks, do you prefer the old school Boss Man or the Attitude Era Boss Man? There's no comparison. Old school Boss Man you can't even compare them. Can't even compare them. Old school Boss Man was amazing. I loved him. His promos and everything, you know, talking about, you're going to serve hard time, Cobb County, Georgia, and his nightstick that he used to spin around, and the blue. I mean, like, it was just great. It was great. He was a police officer that used to dish out justice. I mean, it works. It works. Of all the gimmicks that they used to give out of a dentist and all this, a police officer that wanted to go that little bit further in the wrestling ring, I get it. Wants to dish out some justice within the WWE. Brilliant. I think his look here is cool. It's got like a Shield vibe. He's basically the Shield before the Shield, isn't he? So I think his look's cool. But they just had him in such awful storylines. Awful. The Big Boss Man. It's weird to think that he came back and had a match against Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like, it's hard to think of Boss Man going on to do that during the Attitude. It's so out of place. So out of place. Like, taking someone from that era at the end of the 80s. And it's not that far, is it, if you think about it? End of the 80s, early 90s. This is 99. It's only 10 years. But it's such a different company. It's completely different. I wonder how, like, people that, like, watched Hogan, Warrior, Bossman, Jake the Snake, I wonder how they felt when wrestling so drastically changed like this. I wonder if, like, because I bet not everyone was on board with it. I bet not everyone was loving the Attitude Era. I know Bruno Sammartino wasn't. Bruno Sammartino was constantly speaking out against the WWE and about how it becomes so crass and like so vulgar. He hated it. So Undertaker making his way down with Paul Bearer. It's a cool look that for the Undertaker. Doesn't this WrestleMania have 1 more hour to go and there's only 2 matches left? Yes. And I've got to tell you, neither of these matches are that long. We are very much racing through the show. It ends 2:46. We're at 1:53, so we've got about 50 minutes. So, Bossman, Big Show funeral, and Show's dad had just passed. That's when storytelling was good. That one was okay. The feeding the dog to Al Snow was not for me. The X Generation ruined a pure sport, says William Hensey. I want to give a shout out to you and everyone here, says Robert. R.I.P. Paul Bearer and the Big Boss Man. Yeah, and it is a shame to think of all the stars we've lost. When you look at like these WrestleManias, Owen Hart, Paul Bearer, Big Boss Man, Test, of course, we mentioned earlier. There's a few that are no longer with us. I hated this Undertaker theme, says David. I remember everyone saying that wrestling died in the Attitude Era. Did they? It's so funny because, like, I would say most people just lose their minds over how great the Attitude Era was. It was never something that I enjoyed. I was not watching wrestling on a regular basis at this time. I was keeping up with the pay-per-views. I, of course, was watching WrestleMania and keeping up with, you know, what was happening. But I wasn't watching Raw every single week or, you know, watching all the shows all the time. I was involved. I was keeping up to date with it. I was still, you know, having conversations about it and, you know, just a fan of it still. But, yeah, I was not as involved as what I am now back then. It did, I will admit that I always wanted to know what was happening. That I said before, with the Attitude Era, it had that feeling of like, this was the center of everything. This was important and you didn't want to miss it. But I was watching it and it just wasn't, I don't know. It's just not my favorite era. I suppose in a way, it's a little like The Fiend in that there's loads of people saying The Fiend's amazing and I don't see that. And I suppose in a way, that's like the Attitude Era. Loads of people saying this is amazing. And I'm like, I don't think it is. There's definitely parts of it that I like. And there's parts of The Fiend that I like. I think his new mask is really cool. So, yeah, I suppose in a way, I've never really thought of it that way. Bossman coming off the ropes, going for a kick to Undertaker. Undertaker sitting up and throwing in some big strikes. This is Hell in a Cell, but it's kind of the Hell in a Cell match that no one speaks about. And I can tell you that Meltzer rates this a dud. He doesn't even give it 1 star. This is a dud, which is basically 0 stars. This is a 0-star Undertaker match. It's awful. What did you think of the Ruthless Aggression era? I thought it was better. Things like Evolution, I thought was cool. The arrival of Cena. I think that class that come through in like 02, 03 with Lesnar and Batista and Orton and Cena. I think they're really cool. And we sort of move away a little bit from like the OTT shock TV kind of stuff. We get a little bit more back to basics, if you will. I like Ruthless. I think Ruthless Aggression's a better era, to be honest. I prefer it. I think it had better shows as well. Better pay-per-view shows. But there's no denying that this was wild. This is the most successful era in WWE. So there's no denying that I'm in the minority, because people absolutely lapped this up. And as we said, they did such a good job of making it feel essential to watch. So nothing but respect. Fair play. I get it. If you was to do a poll, what was the best era? Attitude Era would win. Easy. Attitude Era all the way, says Invest in Genius. Rob said, I loved Fiend months ago, but it's gone a bit too far now. Not the popular one and each to their own, but where does it go next? Well, it's something we've spoke about a lot on this channel. I hope it settles back down, personally, because I do think The Fiend has got value. I do think he's very marketable. I do think that he can be intriguing, but I think the supernatural stuff isn't for me. And I think that if it's settled back down and it operates within the rules of wrestling rather than the rules of sports entertainment, where apparently there are none. But if it operated within the rules of wrestling, I think it could be really great. Because people do love characters. People do love Kane and Undertaker, and people do love The Fiend. Into the cell goes Bossman. So he got some handcuffs, but the handcuffs were pretty weak. Considering he's a police officer, those were awful handcuffs. Do you know what I mean? Undertaker's quite easily managed to break out of them. So I don't know if the Bossman has just been given cheap stuff. But there we go. Undertaker very easily breaking out of his handcuffs. Bit of blood on his face as well from the dead man. We've got around 40-odd minutes to go. David P85 says 99 was the Hardy Boys' first tag title reign. That's cool. Days, when did Shane McMahon jump from the huge Tron onto Big Show? Off the top of my head, I wouldn't. Not sure I'd be able to say. I mean, I know that Shane was with Blackman. That was an even bigger one. And I think that was around this time, wasn't it? That was, I want to say, SummerSlam. Was that SummerSlam 99? 2000. SummerSlam 2000, Blackman and McMahon. McMahon and Big Show was also 2000. That was at Judgment Day. So it looks like 2000 is a very good year for Shane and fans of jumping. If you're a fan of jumping, 2000 is the year for you.
This feels like another lifetime, which in a sense it was, says John. God, everything feels like another lifetime, doesn't it, with the pandemic? What era would you say we're in now? The pandemic era. That's what we're in now. The pandemic era, the lockdown era, the Thunderdome era. I do think, I mean, will this be an era? It's been going on for over a year. So, this is an era. This is very much a time within itself, isn't it? So, I know they did try to call it the network era at some point when the network started in 2014, but I don't think that lasted. I don't know that there are eras, to be honest. We had the Ruthless Aggression era. We had the Golden Era and the Attitude Era, the New Generation Era. But I think it kind of lost its way, really, after the Ruthless Aggression Era. I don't know that we really had anything after that. Didn't they try one called the New Era? Or there was the Network Era, I remember. But it doesn't really work anymore. But this, I think, could be the pandemic era, the lockdown era, the no fans era. Undertaker goes into side of the cell. And there's blood all down his face. Hayden said, when I was born in 2000, I would be 3 months old when SummerSlam 2000 took place. PG era. Yeah, I have heard that. But, I mean, when would that... Is that what era we're in now? When would you say that started? Is this the PG era? When will the PG era ever end? The Thunderdome era, the reality era. If you do go on to WWE on Wikipedia, I think they do try to put it into eras. I don't know if I buy it, to be honest. I feel like we've been in a PG era for quite a long time. Everyone says that we're in a PG era, but PG era will never end. WWE will probably be PG forever, ever, so it's not really an era. This is the era. This is the Bad Bunny era. That's what we're in. Strike by Boss Man. I think that, do you know what? If wrestling was to embrace that kind of thing, I think it'd be so much fun. Could you imagine if we were in a certain era and then all of a sudden Vince came out and said, tonight we start the something era or whatever it might be, whatever he might say. And like that would get people talking. That would bring some excitement. And do you know what I mean? You go in a bit of a different direction and it's a brand new era and it's recorded as a new era. And it's like, oh, we're in a new era. And it doesn't really mean anything. You could just slightly change something to reflect this new era. The brand split era. The brand unification era. Do you know what I mean? You bring the brands back together and Vince comes out and says that. And people would freak. And it's just an easy, exciting moment that they could easily come up with. But they don't really embrace that kind of stuff. Gangrel, the Brood making their way down on top of the cell. So Undertaker hits the tombstone on Big Boss Man. Now the Brood have been lowered down from the ceiling. So we got Gangrel, we got Edge, we got Christian. So they're on top of the cell. They're trying to open up part of the cell. They've managed to do it. So this footage is still on the network. So the Undertaker is inside the ring. The Brood are tying a noose to the top of the cell. And there's a noose in his hand. It is the almighty era, says Patrick O'Neill. Yeah, you're right. It is the almighty era. The other night when Shane started to run while pretending to be injured was the first time WWE made me laugh in ages, says Outdoor. STD says, warning, this is too graphic. Well, the way they do this is in the back of the noose, there's like a hook, and Undertaker, whilst he's putting it around the neck of Bossman, attaches that hook to a harness that Bossman is wearing. So when Bossman's about to get raised, it's basically raising the back of Bossman. It's raising the hook. There's no pressure on the noose. So the cell is being raised. Bossman is... I mean, people are watching Bossman get hung. There's kids in the crowd. King, could this be symbolic? No, it's murder. Could this be symbolic? Symbolic of what? Undertaker murdering Bossman. And there we go. Lights go out. WrestleMania 31, Sting, Triple H, NWO or DX, Monday Night War, WCW, WWF. Yes, that was a good match, but the wrong winner. I like the William is always right era, says William Hensey. Shouldn't he die? Well, he wouldn't die if the noose, in kayfabe, if the noose was loose. If it was a loose noose, then he wouldn't die. It has to... when it comes to... the reason they had a hangman was because you would have to find out the weight of the person to work out the length of the noose. I know this because I've seen videos about, like, hangings from medieval times. So it would be possible, perfectly feasible, to hang someone and them not die. In fact, it's happened many times. If you don't get the length of the noose right, if you don't get the weight of the person right, then no, there's nothing supernatural about that moment. You can hang someone and them not die. And it happened many, 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 many times. So, no, not a supernatural moment. An awful moment. A regrettable moment. Something that I think we can all agree shouldn't have been on WWF TV. We've got some clips here from that WrestleMania Rage party that was spoken about. And we've got Big Punisher and Isaac Hayes playing. It's kind of interesting to see it. And we heard from with Andy earlier, and he was saying that you can watch this whole thing on YouTube. We got The Rock in one of his glorious shirts. It's weird, isn't it? It's like a concert. Stone Cold addressing the crowd at this WrestleMania Rage. Right, JR making his way down. Jim Ross coming down to the ring. For our main event, we've got about half an hour left to go. So, Stone Cold versus The Rock. First time these two are meeting at WrestleMania. You can't have a WrestleMania without JR. JR is WrestleMania. He had a bout of Bell's palsy at this time, didn't he? And it's such a shame with how all of that was dealt with. Such a shame. No way would it have been dealt with the same in 2021. No way. There's people making fun of it and everything. It's like awful. Right, Mr. McMahon is making his way down to the ring. The last public hanging in Scotland went horribly wrong, and the man suffered for like 45, 60 minutes. They screwed up the length, so his neck didn't snap. Yeah, there's some horrible examples of things along those lines. Yeah, horrible. Yeah, there's quite a few of where things have gone like wrong like that. Days, I think when Vince unfortunately passes away, we will enter a new era. That's true, actually. I wonder if the post-Vince era, what will they call it? What will they call it? What? I have no idea what era we will enter, to be honest. Saddam Hussein died easy enough being hanged. Well, I'm so pleased that we've gotten to such a wonderful subject. I don't know about you, but on a Sunday, when I sit down to do a little stream like this, I think to myself, oh, I hope we get caught on a subject of hanging. I hope we spend loads of time analysing people being hung. That's completely why I'm here. I couldn't think of anything more fun. What a fun way to spend a Sunday. Sunday Fun Day! Welcome to the Sunday Fun Day stream. Next up, electrocution. What about the ones that were survived and they called a witch and drowned? Yeah! Witches. Amazing scenes. HBK. Hayden says it's time for the main event. It is, my friend. It is time for the main event. Stone Cold, how long have we got left? We've got about half an hour. As you said, this is the first time that they're going to be facing each other. They would obviously go on to face each other every other year. So they faced at WrestleMania 15. They then faced each other at WrestleMania 17. Then they ended their trilogy at WrestleMania 19. And again, listening to JR talk the other day, he was saying that it was such a shame that we didn't know that 19 was going to be Stone Cold's final appearance. And that it was, a real shame that we didn't get that knowledge, because that moment would have been even bigger had the fans have known that this was the last time we were going to get a chance to watch him wrestle. Obviously not the last time that we saw him, because he would be guest referee at WrestleMania 20 for Goldberg versus Brock. But, just such a shame that we were kind of denied the opportunity to say a proper goodbye. And there's so many people that really want him back to have that one more match. But I think he's done. I think he did say that he wanted one more match. I'm sure he did say that he was tempted for one more. But, I think he was done. I don't remember HBK. Yep, he did make appearances around this time still. Coming in for, obviously he did like commissioner role and things along those lines. So he was still around. Didn't Vince slap
Richard
Paul
K is a
White?
legend. They donated £4.99 via a super chat. Do you know what date the Hoff is this year and what time it airs in London?
It's on the Tuesday of WrestleMania week. And the time that it airs is going to be quite late. It'll be like... I'll double check for you in a second. Just want to hear what Sean's got to say. The one man that can make the decision about the guest ref is the Heartbreak Kid. So Shawn Michaels telling Vince to get out of the ring. So we got a little moment here between Shawn and Vince. It's such a shame that we didn't get Shawn wrestling. I mean, like, a Shawn match at this WrestleMania would have stole the show. I mean, like, he was stealing the show anyway, but this is the easiest show he ever would have been on that he would have had to have stolen. So he's telling him that he's got to get away from ringside. He says, if you break the rules, then you and I will have a little fight out back. I can't see any information in regards to the time of the Hall of Fame, but we do know that it's going to be on the Tuesday after WrestleMania. So it's Tuesday, the April 6th. Let's have a look. I'll get that date. I'll find that date. It is on April 6th. April 6th. Obviously, there won't be a crowd. I'd imagine it's going to be quite long. But, yeah, April 6th, we've got the Hall of Fame. So, Shawn Michaels has come down and he is escorting Vince away from the ring. Vince said he was going to be the special guest referee. And fun fact, he isn't. I miss HBK. Hopefully we see him on NXT more. HBK was so awesome, it sucks that he had those 4 years gone. He probably would have been champ a couple more times. Yeah, he would have done some great stuff during that era, I'm sure. But I do think that him actually sitting out the Attitude Era maybe wasn't the worst. Do you know what I mean? He kind of... It would have been great if he came back a little sooner. But I think he kind of went as the Attitude Era started and was really going. And he was still around. He still made appearances. He was still sort of involved, but he kind of came back after it had finished. He kind of came back during Ruthless Aggression. And I don't know, I kind of think that sitting out the Attitude Era maybe wasn't the worst. But it is a shame that we were robbed of those 4 years. He was gone from, 98 to 02? So I suppose he's gone from the start of the Attitude Era. He goes at the start of the Attitude Era, comes back at the start of Ruthless Aggression. Right, The Rock making his way down, and he's got the Big Eagle belt, the Attitude Era Championship, which looks really cool. I really like that belt. It's not my favorite. I do know some people that think it's their favorite, though. But it is cool. Looks like a proper championship belt. But it is surprising that the belt wasn't more Attitude Era. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't look at that belt and think Attitude Era. It's just a really nice championship. Richard K, shout out to you. And there we go, that The Rock making his way down with that championship. As I said, main event only goes for about 16 minutes. We're only like 20-something minutes away from the end of the show.
Is a legend.
It's gone quite quick.
He donated £4.99 via a super chat. With Wade Barrett back commentating in NXT, do you think he will wrestle again? And HBK versus The Rock would tore the house down. They did have a match.
Yeah, HBK against The Rock would have tore the house down. You could have done a lot of great matches. I mean, obviously we did get Shawn against Stone Cold, but it's not great because Shawn's done, isn't he? I mean, he's injured. He's having to just get through it, to be honest. So he's doing what he can. But yeah, you are right. The Rock against Shawn would have been awesome. Obviously, thankfully, we do still end up with
Richard
Triple H
K
versus
is a
Shawn.
legend. They donated £1
don't miss out on
and
that.
99 pence via a super chat. They never did have a match, I meant.
Yeah, no, you are right. You are right. Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great. And there's a few matches, but you do worry that Shawn might have ended up like doing some rubbish, doing some absolute nonsense during this era. Hopefully they would have kept him strong near the top of the card, right up there with Undertaker, Triple H, Stone Cold, Rock. You know, you would have had Shawn Michaels up there as well, but they might have been tempted to drop him down to the mid card or something, have him working with Test, or kind of have him, I don't know, doing something with Road Dogg, or I don't know. It's hard to see anything getting in, even Shawn getting in the way of Stone Cold and Rock. I think those were the guys, and I don't even know if Shawn would have got in the way. We'll never know. We'll never know. Right, we are underway with Rock versus Stone Cold. Eugene was the best ever, says Miss Clown. Stone Cold is still the GOAT in my eyes, says Austin. Isn't that funny? Because I don't think of you as a Stone Cold fan, even though you have always been Austin 316 to all of us. I don't think of you as a Stone Cold fan. Mainly because you never mention Stone Cold or your favorite Stone Cold matches or anything like this. Like, he never seems to come up in conversation. That's strange. That's weird. Fighting in the crowd. We've got a really good moment here. Look at this shot. Stone Cold and The Rock right in the crowd. Crowd are loving it. They're all over The Rock. They're all over Stone Cold. That's great. It looks great as well. It's just this absolute sea of people. And there is no social distancing going on there, let me tell you. Big strike by Stone Cold. Rock goes over the barricade back to the ringside area. This is where it feels quite intense. This bit right here. This is where it feels like can't miss. Do you know what I mean? The rest of the show has been a bit and it's been in the ring, and it's been a bit, I don't know, but look at the energy here. Look, they're just literally fighting all over the arena. We've just gone into the crowd, big brawl in the crowd. Now they go over to the other side, brawling in the crowd over at the other side as well. It's good, man. It's really good. This is already the best thing we've seen so far tonight. Done. Doesn't even matter what happens from here. This is already the best thing we've seen tonight. So, Stone Cold, The Rock, bringing that intensity. And The Rock wrapping a cord around the throat of Stone Cold, trying to choke him out. And honestly, for the first time tonight, this feels like this is worth watching. It feels to me like, yeah, we can't miss this. Look at that sign as well. They're doing a rubbish job of holding it up. Rock goes into that railing, big clothesline. The crowd are just absolutely ravenous.
Richard K is a legend.
They are
donated
loving it.
£4 and 99 pence via a super chat. In 2001, when you had the Invasion and you had ECW, AMD, WCW combined against WWE, but why did we not get NWO or Goldberg or Sting?
Till later. Oh, back body drop onto that lighting rig. Yeah, that was a big part of the problem with the Invasion, was that when WWE bought WCW, they didn't get all the contracts for all the big stars. Apparently, because they were getting paid so much, it couldn't all come out of WCW's budget. It didn't have enough money. So some of their contracts were actually with I think actually like TNT Direct or, other kind of companies. The way that it was all financed and done was a bit messy. So bottom line is when WWE bought WCW, they got the rings, they got the staging, they got cameras, they got, all this kind of stuff. What they really wanted was the video library and the name. Because there was a thought of doing WWF Raw on a Monday and WCW Nitro on a Thursday or something like that. They were going to do WCW as a separate brand. What fans wanted was the invasion, and so WWE tried to give them that, but they didn't get the names. They didn't get them. They weren't part of the package. You didn't, when you bought WCW, you didn't get Sting, you didn't get Hogan, you didn't get Goldberg. They managed to get them, but not until much, much later. Those stars were quite happy to just sit at home and still be paid. They were still getting paid. Their contracts were still being paid, even though they weren't doing anything. And they were quite happy to sit at home. So they just sat at home for a year, 12 months getting paid to do nothing. So there was no way that WWE was going to be able to get them. Do you want to get paid and come to work, or do you want to get paid and sit at home? And a lot of those guys were, I'll sit at home, thanks. So, yeah, it was a shame. The invasion, I don't know how you could have done it much better, to be honest. It's easy to say, well, you should have just got Hogan, you should have just got Sting, but you couldn't. You couldn't get them the contracts. You couldn't do it. So it's hard to know how you could have done it. I'm sure there's ways of booking the invasion better, even with what they had. But that's why you had like Stone Cold having to turn, because they needed some star power for the invasion. And so they had to use WWF guys because the star power wasn't there. No one was going to believe that Buff Bagwell was going to go toe-to-toe with Stone Cold. Do you know what I mean? So as a result of that, it's like...
Uribe is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Days I can't believe WCW was bought from Peacock.
WCW was bought from Peacock. Hang on, what? What? Strikes the midsection by Stone Cold. Face first goes The Rock into the barricade. We've got The Rock on top of the commentary table. Stone Cold looking for elbow drop, drove a forearm into The Rock. This feels like a proper fight, a proper brawl. They've been all over the arena. I think this match is a real treat. JR says this is a war. Elbow by Stone Cold, and he puts The Rock through the table. Commentary table explodes. And The Rock is down. The intensity, the action. And he spits in the face of The Rock. Everything is just turned to 11 for this match. Jude Bagwell could go toe-to-toe with Stone Cold, though, says Butterspark. It sucks we never got Stone Cold Hogan. Again, I think that came up on one of the podcasts, and they were saying that neither would put the other over, so you couldn't do it. There was a time where it could have been done, but one of them would have had to have done the job. Like Stone Cold would have had to have gone over Hogan, or Hogan would have had to have gone over Stone Cold. And if you'd have done a screwy finish, people wouldn't look back on it fondly. So you have to do a clean finish. Into the ring steps. I have no idea how they managed to get The Rock and Hogan sorted, though. Because obviously Hogan does the job. So.
Richard K. is a legend. They donated £1.99 via a super chat. Will you be doing a Hall of Fame watch-along?
Yes. We don't normally, but it's such a stacked class. Rock bottom! Yeah, we won't miss it. Kick out by Hogan. Hogan on my brain now. Kick out by Stone Cold. Yeah, it's such a stat class with Hogan going in as the main event with the NWO. We won't be missing Hall of Fame. We didn't do it the other year in 2019, and I think that was the year that like Bret Hart got attacked, and it was like massive. It was probably the biggest news from WrestleMania week, and it's like, knew we should have covered it. Knew we should have done it. The biggest talking point of WrestleMania week, and we didn't stream it. Kick to the midsection. Oh, that's a good spot. Stone Cold goes to hit the Rock with the chair, and the referee gets in the way. The referee goes down. Swinging net breaker by the Rock. You mean Stone Cold beat Hogan. You mean Sting beat Taker. You mean Stone Cold beat Hogan and Sting beat Taker. I would have enjoyed Sting Undertaker, yes. Look what happened with the booking of Shawn and Hogan in 05. Good point. Good point. But it blows my mind that they were still able to get Rock Hogan done. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's such a big, important match. No one thinks less of either guy for that match. Both guys came out of it bigger. I mean, if you can achieve that, that is the dream, isn't it? I know the whole wins and losses don't matter upset a lot of people, and it upsets me, and I disagree with it. Wins and losses do matter. They do matter, right? But on these one-off occasions where you can tell a story and you can make both guys come out of it looking great, in those cases, they don't matter so much. In rare occasions like that, they don't matter so much. But wins and losses do matter. But on that occasion, both guys came out looking huge. But like when you're building towards a WrestleMania, you can't be giving someone loads of losses and then expect the crowd to be into them. Do you know what I mean? Did you see The Undertaker when he hung the boss man? Yes, it was on there. We didn't know if it would be, but they did keep it in. John Costello says, too bad that Hulk and Stone Cold didn't face off when they both had matching receding hairlines. Wins and losses do matter a lot. Just ask Bray. His many losses messed up his character. Hogan was and is a stand-up nice dude. Austin is a legit douche, says William. Sting should never have done the job for Triple H. I agree. That one bothers me the most. That one and Booker T losing to Triple H. It's weird because I think Triple H is someone that actually puts a lot of people over at WrestleMania. He's up there with like most losses at WrestleMania. He lost to Ultimate Warrior. He lost to Roman Reigns. He loses on quite a regular basis. He lost to Daniel Bryan, of course. At WrestleMania. He lost to Undertaker 3 times at WrestleMania. So he does lose, but it's his 2 wins that bother me the most. And that is his win over Booker T and his win over Sting. It really bugs me, those 2. Big strikes by Stone Cold. Duck underneath, against the ropes. Up, Samoan
Richard
drop.
K is a legend. They donated £1.99 via a super chat.
Shoulder up.
With Wade back in NXT, do you think he will wrestle?
With Wade back in NXT, do I think he'll wrestle? He might come out and do something. He might do something. I know he said that he doesn't want to. He's not finished, but yeah, he might come out and do something. I'm not crazy into the idea of him working, to be honest. I do like him, but I just don't think they'll book him right. I think that's part of the problem. I really like him, and I'd really like him to get a nice run, but I've just got no confidence that they'll book him right or they'll book it right. I think they're just, I don't know. I don't know how much people care anymore. I know that there's a lot of people that would like the Nexus story, but again, I don't think they're interested in it. Or certainly not interested in it to the level that people would like it to be brought back. I think people would like it to come back and be like it was in 2010, whereby they're a massive deal, they're invading. But look what they did with Retribution. Retribution is pretty much what Nexus would have been, in the sense of invading, attacking superstars backstage, all this kind of stuff. And look at how they botched that. I've just got no confidence they can tell that story. Vince has come down. Triple H has lost 13 times at Mania. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. I mean, we saw him lose at this one by DQ. So it's kind of a loss, but not really a loss. I think this WrestleMania was a loss. Now Mankind is making his way down. Vince is stomping away on Stone Cold. He's trying to do whatever he can to make sure he doesn't become champion again. Mankind knocks down Vince. So Vince goes out the ring. Stone Cold rolls up the Rock. Kick out by the Rock. We're down to the final few dramatic moments of this. Against the ropes. Nice Thez press. Thez press by Stone Cold. Forearm. Against the ropes. Goes the Rock. Kick to Stone Cold. Clothesline by the Rock. So Mankind is in as the referee now. Rock looking for a rock bottom. Boom. Gets the rock bottom on Stone Cold. These two have thrown so much at each other. And Rock now going for the people's elbow. Against the ropes. Oh! Stone Cold moves out the way. Spins him around. Looking for rock bottom. Back elbows coming in by Stone Cold. Kick. Stunner. There's a stunner. Stunner. 1, 2, 3. Stone Cold wins. Austin wins. And Vince can't believe it. He puts his hands into his luscious hair. Stunning Steve. Triple H lost a Warrior in 30 seconds. He did. He did. So McMahon is down and gutted. Stone Cold wins. Look at Vince. Sad Vince. It is sad Vince. It is sad Vince. There's Stone Cold on the front of a Wheaties box. So Mankind in the ring with his little homemade referee shirt. Look at the size of that sign. There's a massive cardboard sign that just got held up. I can't even see what it says. It's huge. You reap what you sow. Some good, I love these sweeping shots. They look cool. So many signs as well in the crowd. You just don't get that anymore. And there we go. Mankind handing that belt to Stone Cold. Vince is down and gutted. Stone Cold is once again the WWF champion. Fun little match that. I'll tell you that Meltzer gave it, I think, what did he give it? 3 Summit Stars? 3 Summit Stars for that one. I'll find the exact score for you. I feel like I was cheating you if I didn't. Meltzer star rating. WrestleMania 15. He gives it 3.5. Easily the best match on the show. Shane McMahon and X-Pac got 2.75. And then, honestly, the best match for that road, Dogg, Ken, Shamrock, Venis, Goldust, 1.5. One of the only saving graces about this show, one of the only saving graces is the fact that it only runs for 2 hours 47. They're asking McMahon if he's all right. There's still 5 minutes left. It's hard to hold a sign on your TV screen in the Thunderdome. I have still seen people give it a go. They used to hand those signs out. Did they? Did they actually hand signs out? I never really thought about it. It looks great on TV, so it would make sense. We like the Cesaro section signs. They used to hand out, and other little, like the A4 little sheets of paper ones. They used to hand those out, of course. But yeah, I don't know about these ones. Richard K, shout out to you. Slim Jim says, I don't think they handed signs out. Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard of that. The little Cesaro section ones, yes. They were all printed up, and I think they were there for people. But and there was other ones. I'm trying to think of other ones. I feel like was there Bailey ones that were made as well, that were on like bits of A4 paper.
Richard K is a legend. They donated £4.99 via
Bailey
a super
section,
chat.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what Meltzer thinks, he gives Omega 5-star matches, and Omega is a goof who wrestles little girls and blow-up dolls in Japan.
Oh, Richard K, are you? Does the K stand for cornet? I don't mind Omega. I really like his matches with Okada, and I really like what he's doing right now with Don Callis, to be honest. I kind of think if you do something stupid, like wrestle a 9-year-old girl or wrestle a blow-up doll or whatever, I don't agree with Jim Cornette that there's no way back after that. Do you know what I mean? Kind of think like you did something stupid. But I understand that old school mentality of you exposed the business. You know, you brought shame on the business. You're dead to me now. That's the old school mentality. If you exposed the business back in the day, you were done. No one was booking you. You wasn't working in any territory. You weren't to be trusted. So, yeah, it was like the unwritten rule. You don't expose the business. So I can understand where he's coming from, and I can understand why he thinks that way. But I don't share that same opinion. So Vince is down. He's covered in beer. Stone Cold. I mean, literally, they're giving Stone Cold 5 minutes to celebrate with the crowd, and they're giving him time to drench. I mean, he is drenched as well, isn't he, Vince? Look at him there. His shirt is like sticking to him and everything. And now we got a little recap, a highlight package. Good luck. Good luck. I wouldn't want to be that person. Can you put highlights together? No. We're just seeing like Mankind put through the chairs, Sable wiggling, Big Show.
Richard K is
attacking
a legend.
McMahon.
They donated £4.99 via a super chat. I do listen to the Cornet and don't agree with some of the stuff he says, but everything he says about Omega and IU is all correct.
Shout out to you, Richard. Do you remember Gerard Carra's blow-up doll imitation that Days did a few weeks ago? I do. Dave, in real life, hope you are well. People say WWE do stupid things. I know they do, but come on, that sounds terrible by New Japan. Right, it is just a video package. We are at the pretty much at the end. We've just got a few seconds. You can definitely start thinking about your rating. I'm pleased with that main event. I kind of think it really helped. Even though this wasn't 3 hours long, I think it really helped get through. This is a WrestleMania. I'm glad we're done and is now out the way, to be honest. But, I mean, this is crazy, isn't it? This is the heart of the Attitude Era. But at the time, it was in sync with everything. It was exciting, and Stone Cold was red hot, of course. I mean, maybe part of that really gets lost. Do you know what I mean? It's just the appeal. To us now, it's like, right, here's Stone Cold. But back then, it's like, Stone Cold. He was the man. He was the man. Right, get your scores in. We are done with WrestleMania 15. Matt Riddle is a goof who should be in AEW, says Richard. Brandon says 9.25. Jennifer says, I remember them trying to give me a big... Oh, hang on. We'll wait for her to read it out. This seems quite interesting. Miss Clown says 7. Corey says 4.75
via super chart. I remember them trying to give me a big Batista sign because I was front row at the ramp. I gave a firm hell no, even though he was a face.
What year was that? Honestly, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of people being given actual signs to hold up. Do you know what it said? Did it just say Batista? Or did it say Batista is a sexy kitten? That's Austin's. That's the one Austin would have. But yeah, I'd be very interested to know some more details on that, because I've never heard of this before. But then, I mean, how would you, in all fairness? Because in the 90s, I didn't have the internet. So the conversations I was having was only stuff I was seeing on TV. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. Edward says 3.9. Austin says 6. Harold says 10 out of 10. Shaquem says 2 out of 10. William says 6.75. It wasn't as good as I remember. But then again, I was backstage with my dad. What, you were there? You was at that WrestleMania? That's cool. Lauren says 6. Austin says 6. Lauren said it felt like a bit of a chore to watch. Well, welcome to a Wrestling Day stream. That is very much... It is the tagline of this channel. Wrestling Days, it felt like a bit of a chore to watch. So, yeah, kind of very much... This is our demo. This is very much where we operate. 6 out of 10 says Austin. 4 says Laurie. 6.1 says David. 3.25 says LSW. Jordan says 6.5. Brandon says 9.25. 9.75. 5.25. Jimmy says 3. do you know what? I'm gonna go with the number that's in my head, and this might seem low, but I'm going with a 4. Right? I'm gonna go with a 4. That's the number that's in my head. That's the number I'm thinking of, to be honest. The reason why I'm giving it a 4, I think the main event is really fun. So I really do like the main event. So straight away, boom, we're getting a mark there. The Pete Rose stuff, as silly as it sounds, I think is fun. I think that Shane and X-Pac match was decent. I think that there was some nice moments throughout this WrestleMania. Even though the matches might not have been great, there was some moments in there, like Boys to Men singing at the start is a moment. So that's cool. Just Sable and... This sounds crazy as well, but Sable and Tori being so bad makes it a match that you should really see. Like the botches that are in there and everything. It's so bad it becomes interesting. Like, it's one of the worst WrestleMania matches ever. So for that reason, you got to watch it. And I think it's like those films that people watch that are so bad they become fun and enjoyable, and people have bad movie nights. That match becomes that. And also Tori's outfit as well. So, there's stuff in here that I think is interesting. But the takeaway is that there's only really one good match, maybe two. If you consider Shane and X-Pac a good match, then there's only two good matches on a WrestleMania. The other positive is it really doesn't outstay its welcome. There's plenty of star power as well. I'll give it that. But, I mean, that boss man being hung moment is one of the worst moments in the history of WrestleMania. And it's a bad match as well. It's a bad Undertaker match. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like a 4 is the number that's in my head. Not a great WrestleMania at all. It's such a shame. Such a shame, because I think it does have great potential. And I think Stone Cold delivers. But no. Honestly, I just think it couldn't get out of its own way. I think it's a WrestleMania that just couldn't get out of its own way. I think it's got a lot of star power. I think it's got a few kind of... It's sort of there or thereabouts. The foundations are sort of there. But they just... I don't know. I don't know if they weren't focused on in-ring and they were just more focused on shock value rather than having good matches. But it's a real reminder of kind of where we are now, because as bad as things can seem right now, I would say this year's WrestleMania is going to destroy that. This year's WrestleMania is going to be way above what we've just seen there. So if you only take one thing away, take away how exciting this year's is going to be.
Days what are our top 5 Mania matches? Mine are Austin Brett at 13, Taker vs. Shawn at 25, Shane vs. Taker, Hell in a Cell at 32, Ripley and Charlotte.
From last year, and Rock versus Hogan. Richard K, shout out to you. Appreciate the support as always, my friend. I mean, top 5 would be really hard. Straight away, I'm going Michaels against Undertaker at 25. Such a great match. End of an era would be up there as well from 28. Probably Macho Man Steamboat from 3. So important, and it shouldn't ever be forgotten about how great that match was. I mean, it's one of the early examples of a match being planned out rather than going out there and just feeling it and going with it. This is a match that had moments that were planned out, and as a result, the whole thing felt a bit different to what we had seen before, and it was always regarded as one of the top WrestleMania matches. Still is, in all fairness, still is. So yeah, I've got to have that up there. I think Charlotte Rhea Ripley was the best match from last year, but I don't know if it's up there with the all-time great matches. There's been some really, really good matches, but it's hard to pick out the great, like the all-time classic legendary ones. I suppose you got to talk Brett Stone Cold from 13. I suppose you got to put that in there. You've got the ladder match. You think about WrestleMania 10 with Shawn and Razor, Brett and Owen. They would be in the conversation as well. I kind of feel like it's... And yeah, you're right with Rock and Hogan as well. Probably a lot of people would say Stone Cold, Hogan, and the TLC match from 17. I don't think you could ignore that either. So there's a lot in the mix. I'd struggle to nail it down to 5. If it was that bad, I bet you're glad you didn't pick 9. Do you know what? 9 was the first one I ever watched live, and I would have so much to talk about with it. And I think that it's better. I think 9 is better than that. Because I think with 9, at least you've got the fun of it being outside, a different venue. It's themed. It's got quite a few stars on that show as well. Maybe not the level of a Stone Cold and Rock and Triple H and all of this, but you do have Brett. You do have Yokozuna. You do have Hogan. You do have Shawn Michaels. You do have Bob Backlund. I mean, it might not be a name that resonates with people, but it's certainly a name that resonates with me. Former champion, was champion for 4 years. He is a big name in the history of wrestling. And he's taking on Razor Ramon. So, obviously, you've got Undertaker on that card, taking on a legit giant in the Giant Gonzalez. So, I would actually find a lot more enjoyable about WrestleMania 9 than I think I would got out of WrestleMania 15. Probably because it's the year that I really got into it. It's one of the first WrestleManias. So there's probably a lot of nostalgia. And I would say there's probably a lot of nostalgia that people have for 15. I would imagine there's a lot of people that watch 15 and they think back to watching it as a kid. And that nostalgia probably adds to the score. I don't really have that because I wasn't really massively into the Attitude Era. So I don't really have it when it comes to the Attitude Era. I definitely would have it for WrestleMania 9. So I really think I would probably score 9 higher than what I would score 15, to be honest. And it could be because I'm just nostalgic and biased, and I don't mind admitting it. So we will have to watch 9 at some point. And to be honest, I'm not too worried. Not too worried. I think it'll be fun. We'll have fun laughing at them all in their togas. Finkamus Maximus, or whatever he was called. Howard Finkel. So the biggest toga party on the planet. Well, it is time to bring to a close this party. I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that joined us. Obviously, you know, we are just a few hours removed from that massive stream last night. So these Sunday streams are always interesting. Obviously, if it's a pay-per-view, we grit our teeth and we get into it and have fun. And with these watch-alongs, they're a bit more chilled. And obviously, we just tend to go wherever the conversation goes. And, you know, in all fairness, we did really get stuck on hangings for quite a while there. So if nothing else, we all shared that. So, yeah, really appreciate the support as always, my friends. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend, wherever you are and whatever you are doing. And hopefully I will see you again tomorrow as we edge closer towards this year's WrestleMania with one more Raw. We've got this one next week, and then that's it, isn't it? I think it's only this week and next week, and then we're done. And then we're on the pretty much at WrestleMania. So if there are going to be any twists or turns, they're running out of time. They're going to have to drop them in. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings. So, yeah. Hopefully, see you again tomorrow for Raw. Awesome. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.